Heavy panting mixed with the sharp sound of fangs. Long ears gradually emerged, and her body slowly began to change. Countless questions raced through her mind. Why? Why am I turning into this? She glared, her cheeks flushed, as if in a daze. Just a moment ago, everything was fine. Why suddenly? Her eyes reflected the scene before her. A white wolf had appeared. Why had she suddenly transformed into a monster? A strikingly handsome and charming man appeared on the large central screen. Crowds passed by continuously. There were so many different necks in this world. Looking at the necks of others, men's slender or strong necks, the wrinkled necks of the elderly, and the necks of many children. The red-haired woman sitting in the car looked outside. If only I could wrap a few of my own scarves around those necks. She stared coldly at her reflection in the mirror. If I did, what would they smell like? The car doors suddenly opened. She was Han Ju, 27 years old, the founder of Ju Lu Chao Bao. As soon as she stepped out, several young men approached her. "Miss, look over here. We have a new handsome guy in our shop." She bluntly refused. "Excuse me." After being rejected by the beautiful woman, the man named Trask persisted. "I'm very confident in my looks. Don't be so cold." The person next to him quickly stopped him. "Hey, don't say that." The person next to him quickly explained. "She seems to be the princess of our change club." A pair of long legs stepped out. It was Wan Shun, rank number 1. A regular customer, he stepped out to greet her. "Welcome." He was Wan Shun, 22 years old, the top-ranked and most sought-after man at Change Club. Change Club provided male escort services, offering women conversation and companionship. Then he said softly, "Miss Han, I'm so happy you came to see me during work hours. Is it not busy at the company today?" She paused for a moment, then said, "My blind date failed again." He stood up in surprise. How could that be? Wasn't everything perfectly prepared? She brushed her hair aside with a blank expression. He said, "I treated him like a dog." Recalling the conversation, the man had jumped up and shouted, "Hanju, am I your dog? Don't you find it annoying? Use your telepathy to talk to me." He left just like that, not forgetting to tell her, "Going on blind dates without understanding your position as a woman, you'll die alone." She slammed her water glass on the table in frustration. What does he mean? Not understanding my position as a woman. What position do I need for a blind date? He came over and picked up the glass while she sulked. "Why do you always get dumped after a few dates?" She grumbled, "Wan Shun, why do I even bother with these blind dates? Wouldn't it be better to find love freely?" He touched a nerve. Because she only interacted with men at the club, it's precisely because I can't find love freely. Don't you know my family situation? They're pressuring me like they want my life. She said coldly, "Just find me a decent man to date so I can focus on my work." He was silent for a moment, then softly said, "But will this make you happy?" She briefly considered his words. Remembering the past, she replied, "It doesn't matter. I've never had feelings for anyone since I was a child. Except for..." She trailed off, slumping onto the table, twisting her ears and pulling her hair. "Forget it. Maybe there really is something wrong with me. Maybe I have some kind of mental illness. I just can't connect with men." Distressed, she asked, "What should I do?" He looked at her, a flicker of sadness in his eyes, then comforted her. "No matter what, I'll help you." Hearing this, she perked up. "Really?" He hummed in agreement, and she extended her hand. "Pinky promise." He reached out his hand. "Okay." She beamed. "You have to keep your promise." He was touched by her earnestness. He gently flipped his hand. "Like this." She smiled brightly. "Right?" Seemingly seizing the opportunity, she slapped his hand hard. He yelped playfully, "Ouch." It only stung for a moment, not even truly painful, and there was a tingling sensation. "Actually, Wan Shun, do you have a bit of a sadistic streak? You always like to do these little things." She froze. "Huh, was I too rough? I'm sorry. This kind of thing is best done with mutual consent. If it's not voluntary, you must tell me." He quickly said, "No, it's nothing." His eyes were filled with adoration. "Making my clients happy is my job. Helping you unwind." Then he took her arm, continuing his invitation. "So please continue. I was just being gentle earlier. Making my clients happy is my job. Let me help you relax." Suddenly, someone nearby spoke up. "Hey, Wan Shun, come to our table. I'll order you some good drinks." He hesitated. Okay." To explain, when regular customers choose a male companion based on the service fee, they can also order drinks. The more expensive the drinks, the bigger the tip. He said, turning her, "Sorry, I might have to go to another table first, but I'll be right back." She didn't even look at him, just waved him away. "And pick some good drinks for me." The rule here is if guests at different tables want the same host, the establishment prioritizes whoever the host is already serving. She sighed inwardly, thinking this is like a temple next to a marketplace, so annoying. As expected, flirtatious women have it easy. The other woman kept urging him to join her. Annoyed, she thought, the drinks are so expensive, and she's still acting like this with all that money. She drained her glass. But I knew the rules coming in. I still can't stand this. She sank into a drunken haze. Because I don't hate it either, and acting cold will only make me more bored. Gentle reminder, in real life, hosts don't have to go to other guest tables. My dear readers, please protect yourselves. That night was probably unforgettable. He held her in his arms, but she was dead drunk and unable to think, so he could only gently put her down. Lying in bed, she murmured, so thirsty. Hearing this, he was already prepared. Don't move, I'll be right there. He gently helped her up. Miss Han, you're drunk, but don't worry. This is a reputable hotel. Rest well, I'll be leaving soon. Being drunk really lets you do whatever you want. She turned to him. I won't let you go. The water in the glass accidentally spilled on her, making her look even more alluring. He panicked slightly, his breathing a little heavy, but he quickly composed himself and helped her wipe off the water. Sorry, today's a bit special. I really have to go. Hearing this, she didn't believe him. Special. I've only heard of women having special days. Do men have them too? She stubbornly clung to him. What's so special? You can't fool me. He panicked. Miss Han, please let go. His ears started to turn red, while she, emboldened by the alcohol, held him tight. You're so warm, so comfortable. He seemed to be losing his composure. Damn it, I'm losing control again. He wanted to say, if I don't leave, it'll be dangerous. For some reason, he took off his shirt. Sorry, this isn't appropriate. But she was thrilled to get a glimpse of his well-built physique. Is this okay too? She asked, looking at his back. She felt a pang of sadness. God, so cold. She couldn't help but think, I really have no luck with men. Even throwing myself at him can't make him stay. Her eyes were glued to his reddened neck. But his neck is really nice. When she saw something interesting, her eyes lit up again. She lunged at him excitedly. Why do you have animal ears? Hearing this, he was startled. Animal ears? Am I transforming? He took advantage of her drunkenness and vehemently denied it. No, how could a person have animal ears? You're drunk and seeing things. I might be drunk, but I'm not blind. How could I not see them? Let me touch them, and I'll know if I'm seeing things. Let me touch. He firmly refused. No. Then suddenly, she tripped, and just like in every cheesy drama, she fell, pulling him down with her. Be careful, anyway. In this romantic scene, his heart was pounding. She was so stunned she forgot she was drunk. Wan Shun. She looked at the person in front of her. His eyes, those eyes were glowing like a wild beast's. Perhaps he had reached his limit. He hurriedly said, I'm sorry, I can't control it. Don't look at me. She turned her head and asked, Wan Shun, what's wrong? She was also surprised. What was going on? He pinned her down. Human. She lay motionless as he whispered, don't move. She was stunned. He had transformed into an animal. Truly emboldened by her drunkenness, she asked, Are you Wan Shun? Are you still conscious? He was worried. Damn it, why does she always see me like this? He earnestly explained, Miss Han, I won't hurt you. Please don't call the police. Her mind worked quickly. It seemed his explanation had worked. It's okay, I'm calm. On the contrary, she seemed quite intrigued. We can communicate. She reached out to touch him. By the way, Wan Shun, how did you get so fluffy? Slurring her words drunkenly, she said, You look so soft. He looked at her, mesmerized. It seemed that whether in human or animal form, he was still captivated by beautiful girls. Thinking back to the past, when I was young, I often felt stifled at home, so I liked to climb the high walls of the nearby orphanage. Although I was small, my climbing skills were second to none. But there was a reason for everything, because behind that wall, there was only a dirty little dog waiting for me. Back then, she would happily shout, puppy, and rush straight toward the dog. Back in the present, she felt like she was dreaming. No way, Wan Shun, how did you get so fluffy? You look so soft. Her eyes were full of wonder. He avoided her gaze. I'm not fluffy, Miss Han. This is just a dream. When I wake up tomorrow, everything will be back to normal. Dutch courage really works. What's wrong with this guy? Shouldn't he be running away when he sees a monster or begging, please don't eat me? But this guy is actually acting cute. I must be dreaming. She scratched her head. Oh, it was a dream. No wonder I saw a puppy. She breathed a sigh of relief. But he was actually a wolf. She wouldn't let go. But if this is a dream, she leaned down, a dangerous look on her face. Does that mean I can unleash my desires? He froze, stammering helplessly, are you all right? She started touching him. I've always wanted to examine this creature up close. He quickly stopped her. Don't touch me. My body is very sensitive after I transform. She still wouldn't let go and even bit him. Am I really being treated as a delicacy? Her eyes suddenly stopped, as if exploring other areas. Her teeth seemed sharp too. So, who's the real wolf here? He sent out a silent cry for help. Why did she get so crazy when she was drunk? He didn't even dare to use any force. He tried calling her Hanju, but it was futile. It really is different from a human's anatomy. He was worried, but his beastly body couldn't control its strength. How long was she planning to torment him? He wanted to stop her. No, resisting will hurt her. Why does her expression look so mischievous? Hee, so cute. If being human is good, being a dog is even better. With that, she kissed him lightly on the nose. He gritted his teeth. Does it really have to come to this? Then he immediately reached out to stop her. He couldn't kiss her. His eyes were filled with contemplation. A kiss should only be shared with someone you love. I'm not worthy. In the night, he looked so sad. The next morning, the sun was high in the sky when she finally woke up with no memory of what had happened. After getting up for a moment, she collapsed again, waking up with a hangover and mistaking someone else for him. She thought to herself, I think I got drunk at the club last night, so Wan Shun must have brought me here. Lying there pondering, she only remembered that when she was on top of him, he was really a wolf. Just thinking about it made her feel silly. It must have been an illusion. How can a person turn into an animal? It was absurd, but she didn't seem resigned to it because she was truly curious. As soon as she got through to Change Club, she made an advance booking. Hello, I'd like to book Wan Shun for tonight. Looking at herself in the mirror, she murmured, I'll just see him once. But the next sentence surprised her. I'm very sorry, miss, but Wan Shun is off today and cannot be booked. She pressed further. When does he usually come back to work? He never takes breaks. The person on the other end tried to explain, Wan Shun's situation is a bit special. He usually returns to work after 2 days off. Would you like me to book him for the day after tomorrow? She replied, sorry to bother you. She felt uneasy. Strange. Hasn't he recovered yet? In another apartment building, a room echoed with roars as he slammed his head against the wall, growling. As if enduring the pain of transformation, the agony continued to torment him. Until he shifted back from his beast form to his human form, a familiar figure appeared in the room. Friday evening, 7 o'clock. The nagging started again. Hanju, what did you do to your blind date this time? He was even better than the Lee family's young master. What exactly are you looking for? It seems you've gotten used to this. Mom, it's not that I'm not satisfied. He dumped me, but her mother didn't seem to care. That definitely wasn't the man's fault. Mrs. Lee already told me you didn't care about Zhao Li at all. You never took the initiative to chat with him. Men these days like clingy women. I'm scared to death. I really greeted him every morning and replied to all his WeChat messages, but he said I was cold. What can I do? I'm just not good at chatting with people. Meanwhile, a knock came at the door. A hand pushed the door open, drawing her attention away from what her mother was saying. Ugh, so annoying. I'm not a child anymore. I'll be 30 in a few years. If I don't hurry up, I'll become an old maid. Xiao Shan, Hanju's secretary and best friend, quietly walked in. Hanju, want to grab a drink? Hanju hadn't even had time to answer before she started dreading her mother's next words. Anyway, no matter what, you have to go after the Lee family's young master, or don't come home. Xiao Shan, standing to the side, understood the situation. What's wrong? Being nagged at again. Is it because you're practicing at the gentleman's club, but you're still bad with men? She sighed. How am I supposed to learn? Then she grabbed her bag and headed out. But there's something more interesting going on recently. No drinks tonight, gotta go. At the gentleman's club she frequented, he returned to work as if nothing had happened. A few gossiping guys were chatting. Hey, isn't that Wang Jie, our top host? Haven't seen him around for a few days. Another replied, Wang Jie's work schedule is pretty flexible. This guy didn't seem to like Wang Jie very much. He's popular, sure, but he sits so far away from the guests. Does he even have a sense of customer service? Usually the guys here get chummy with the customers quickly, even getting physical. The other guy explained that's Wang Jie's style. A lot of customers like his aloofness. You're new here, learn a thing or two. Hearing this, he scoffed. The dumb women who come here just want to be treated like they're important. He turned his face away. They're all serving people, yet he puts on airs, trying to act all high and mighty. Karma hit him for his loose lips. As soon as he turned back, he saw Wang Jie, the subject of their gossip, staring at him with a look that could kill. His face paled instantly. Whoa, Wang Jie's here. He tried to explain, I wasn't, but Wang Jie didn't even bother looking at him. Xiao Jin, could I borrow some cologne? I just ran out. A man with the same hair color as him, Xiao Jin, walked over. Ah, of course, Miss Han is here. He nodded slightly. Then he walked over to ask Miss Han something. Xiao Jin explained, she's the young, rich woman who made Wang Jie the top host. I heard that when Wang Jie first came to the club, he had a really rough life. If he hadn't latched onto a rich woman, how could he have risen so fast? Unbeknownst to them, Wang Jie had sharp ears and heard everything. He heard them continue. That's why he's so cold to everyone. But every time he serves Miss Han, he prepares so much. He lowered his eyes. But that's how it should be. He probably remembered his childhood. He was abandoned at birth, his body different from normal people, not even entirely human. Even a doctor had said, strange, your blood test results are unreadable. Do we need a retest? He couldn't pass entrance exams or find a stable job. This abnormal body made him a monster, unable to study or work. 3 months ago, he was desperate and had no choice but to come to this bar. No need for you guys to mock him. A newbie who doesn't say a word, how pathetic. But he's already charmed the ladies, huh? Should we teach him a lesson? Cut it out. The boss doesn't want any trouble. Don't make a big deal out of it. The guy flicked his cigarette ash onto him. He was about to explode with anger, but he held back as if reciting a mantra, must endure. But the guy wouldn't let up. Just don't damage his face. He still needs that face to pick up chicks, haha. It's so annoying that he's stealing our customers. Haha, what a piece of work. Then he poured water on Wan Shun's head. Wan Shun thought to himself, his emotions intensifying, threatening to accelerate his transformation. No, if I act now, I won't be able to control myself. Suddenly, someone walked over, attracting everyone's attention. Wan Shun's eyes lit up. The person spoke. Isn't this the restroom? One of the men quickly said, I'm sorry, miss. The restroom is down the hall. I'll take you there. This is the staff break room. She replied, oh, sorry to bother you then. Before he could finish, she ignored him and pointed down. It's him. She was pointing at Wan Shun. She commanded, come with me. As if saved, he would probably never forget meeting the light of his life. Someone called out to him, Wan Shun, your guest is here, jolting him back to reality. He replied, okay, coming right away. The two-faced guy chimed in, good luck, Wan Shun. Wan Shun was a little dazed. Huh. Recalling what had happened before, you clearly saw me turn into a monster, so why are you still willing to come? He walked in and saw the familiar woman. Wan Shun said, Brother Wan. She seemed happy to see him. No, it was more like a buddy-buddy greeting. Hey, long time no see. She waved. Long time no see. Looking at her, his expression remained neutral. Then he immediately turned to leave. I told you you're dreaming. Have a seat first. She replied cheerfully, sure. Should we find a more private spot? She put on a mysterious air. After all, I have something to discuss today, and it's not convenient for others to hear. He stopped abruptly and attended to her as usual. What would you like to drink? He was a little suspicious, unsure of the reason for her enthusiasm. It seemed she didn't believe at all that she was dreaming, and her attitude was excessively normal. She replied, put tonight's drinks on my tab. Then they both sat down, and some orange juice, and something to eat. All right, you don't have any food ingredients here. Hearing this, he asked, has Miss Han not had dinner yet? She calmly replied, no, I came straight here after work. She reminded him softly, I'm just worried that something might suddenly happen to you, like turning into a monster and jumping out onto the street. He avoided her gaze. That won't happen. Besides the guild, nowhere else will hire me, because I suddenly disappear for a few days every week. Hearing this, she asked curiously, Wan Shun, are you short on money? Just pretend that's the case. I want to earn enough money to retire as soon as possible. Hearing this, she burst out laughing. How old are you? You're not even 20 yet, are you? The waiter brought water, but Wan Shun immediately stopped him. Don't drink it yet. It's cold and not good for your stomach on an empty stomach. He stood up. Wait a minute. Then he brought out a plate of sandwiches. Here, eat this first. Seeing the sandwich, her eyes lit up. She looked at the menu, puzzled. Huh, there's no roast meat and vegetable sandwich on the menu. He tilted his head and explained, I made this for a late-night snack. No one will notice here. Eat it quickly. Looking at the sandwich, she thought, did he make this himself? Could it be poisoned? But she devoured it anyway. Unexpectedly, it tasted pretty good. Is Wan Shun this nice to all his customers? He answered perfunctorily with a blank expression, it's just business. But in his heart, he thought, no way. She suddenly spoke, I understand. His eyes were thoughtful. She seemed a little disappointed. She also felt she was overthinking things. Okay, this is exactly what I need. She bit her straw, her mind made up. Seeing this, he had a bad feeling. Hanju took out a stack of documents. Wanggu, how about we make a deal? Don't you understand? A deal? I used to think my problem was simple. As long as I hung out with more guys, I could learn from them how to get a boyfriend. But obviously, dating isn't easy. I got dumped again. He simply asked, so she pushed the contract across the table. A boyfriend contract. You need money, and I need a boyfriend to shut my family up. It's a win-win situation, isn't it? He slowly understood. You want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? She nodded. Exactly. For a professional, this is a piece of cake. After all, you could develop feelings for anyone, anytime, anywhere. He clenched his fists. Can I ask why you chose me? Aren't you scared? Perhaps she didn't expect him to ask this. Oh, maybe it's because I like your fur. I like the feeling of holding it in my hand. She reached out and grabbed his hand. Don't worry. If the agreement is established, I won't reveal your furry secret. But she also thought, if you don't agree to sign, this will be the last time we talk about benefits, okay? She seductively lifted his arm. But since we're partners now, you can't hide your beast form from me. His heart raced, and he let out a soft cry. Ouch. It turned out she was the real wolf. She bit him. Of course, whether you agree or not is entirely up to you. Wangu, if you're not interested, I won't bother you any longer. She was really enjoying all of this, feeling very satisfied. He finally asked, if I refuse, will you, Hanju, stop coming to the club? She answered softly, yes. There's no need. Basically, it's up to you. If you want to sign the contract, you can contact me anytime. Before she could finish, he interrupted her. No need. She turned to look at him and sighed softly. Well, you're the top earner here anyway, with a high salary. If you really want to find another club. He turned and grabbed her arm. I'll sign it now. She was surprised, thinking he would refuse. Perhaps he didn't want her to second-guess him. So he insisted. I said there's no need to think about it. Sign it now. He quickly signed his name with a pen. He didn't hesitate any longer. At the hotel, seeing the signature surprised her. Oh, so this is Wan Shun's real name. She had been quite sure, but he agreed too quickly. It seemed he really needed the money. Next, 24 years old, 2 years younger than me. Oh, well, whatever, no problem. She was very satisfied. Okay, then if there are no problems, I'll pay according to the salary schedule. What you need to do is come to my place after work and act as my boyfriend. He remained silent. She tried to immerse him in the atmosphere of a relationship. This feeling needed to be present at home too, like the scene she imagined of him calling her after making her favorite dish. He agreed. Yes, he could come to her in the morning. The bar usually opens from 4 p.m. to midnight. She folded the contract, but since she had to work during the day, she was basically only free at night. It seemed the only time they could be together was on our days off. I go to work in the morning, and you usually work at night. Can you wait for me until 7 p.m. when I get off work, and then we can have dinner together? This suggestion caught his attention, and he hurriedly said, sorry. Meaning, you've already guessed it, I only have days off on the 2 days I transform. His appearance at that time was more like a monster than a beast. This was the burden on his mind. She was really persistent in learning how to get along with men, even from the first time they met at the bar. Thinking back to 3 months ago, she spoke to him. She said, the policy here is that as long as you pay, you won't abandon your customers no matter what they do, right? He asked back at the time, why do you ask? As long as they enter the bar, we treat all customers like princesses and will never abandon them. He looked away. I'll prepare suitable accommodation for you later. Because she asked again with doubt. She stopped him. You can't do it. He was surprised. Me. She nodded. That's right. She's cunning. And the one entertaining her is me. He hesitated. My words. Aren't they too few? But maybe she likes this kind of thrill. Don't girls all prefer someone dazzling, more like a prince with that masculine energy? Not necessarily. She lifted his chin. Some people are dazzling, but they're not as endearing as those who cry and fuss when they're hurt. She pressed on his wound, or those who appear fragile. Like a woman. I'm one of them. Strange, isn't it? She interrupted him, turning into a monster. Not a problem at all. Didn't I already explain? I'm not exactly normal to begin with. I can even tolerate your perverted form. So a monster is much more interesting than a human. She reached out, her hand caressing his cheek. Actually, I like monsters. She thought, after all, from childhood until now, the only thing that ever softened her heart was that little dog. She recalled the image again and whispered, I like you the most. Honestly, her taste is quite strange. He pulled away. Miss Han, don't talk nonsense. She retorted, what? Are you afraid I'm just a poser? She wasn't afraid of him. Now he should be the one afraid. If you think that night was just the alcohol talking and not a real test, then Wan Shun, you can transform now and see if I'm scared. He was about to refuse. It's not time for me to transform yet. But things didn't go as planned. Suddenly, he stood up abruptly. What's going on? I just rested. Why do I feel like I'm losing control? He hurried to leave. Miss Han, I'm sorry. I have to go. She froze. She couldn't let him go so easily. Wait, there's still so much we haven't done. She was actually concerned about something else. Is this guy trying to run away and not own up to it? He quickly shook off her hand. We'll talk about that later. He was covered in sweat. Before he could finish, he began to transform strangely and then collapsed. She rushed to his side. Wan Shun, are you okay? Her eyes reflected the changing scene before her. So, life really is full of interesting things. His legs had turned into writhing tentacles. She was about to rush over. Wait, Wan Shun. Before she could finish, he suddenly yelled, don't come near. He looked distraught. I don't know why I'm transforming again. The form is completely unstable. After turning into a monster, even if I can retain most of my consciousness, I'll still completely become that thing. His eyes were filled with worry. It's very dangerous. The tentacles slowly unfurled, and he shouted, run. She looked bewildered while he worried. Oh no, this form hasn't appeared before. I can't fully adapt yet. She reassured him, it's really okay. I'll stay far away. Is there anything I can do to help? She even exclaimed, so you don't just turn into a dog. He seemed unable to stay calm. No need for help. He said with difficulty, my body is splitting apart too much. I can't control it. Protect yourself. As soon as he finished speaking, a tentacle wrapped around her leg. Unable to control himself, he continued to urge her, go back. The tentacles gradually climbed up her body. She was a little surprised, but not much. Oh, it's climbing up. He gritted his teeth. What if he hurt her? She's the only one. Suddenly, she grabbed a tentacle. You Wan Shun, don't worry. These tentacles don't seem to have any ill will towards me. They even seem to like being touched. He remained highly vigilant. Even so, we can't let our guard down. I can't connect to the entire nervous system right now, so I don't know what they're reacting to. She poked one, and he felt a twinge of pain. It seems these tentacles really like you. Two weirdos have met, Don't worry. I'll get out of the way if I sense danger. But right now, it seems like even if I bully it, it'll obediently listen. So she helped him onto the bed. Now he should be the one afraid, not the other way around. This thing wrapped around you, and you still dare to approach. I have to say, you're very brave. She replied, it's nothing, it's just some flesh. By the way, does your body still hurt? He was surprised. How'd she know he was in pain? He said, it's all right, my bones aren't being crushed anymore. It seems like only my lower body is changing. Thankfully, I'm not covered in tentacles. She then asked, oh, so how long do I have to wait? The tentacles kept moving. Normally, the transformation lasts for half a day, but tonight was an accident. I don't know how long it will last. So, Miss Han, you should go home and rest. Who said I'd agree? I'm not going back. This is a perfect opportunity to prove that even when you, Wan Shun, are transforming, we can still get along, as long as I don't get eaten. He was speechless. We already talked about this. She interrupted, and I really do need to learn how to take care of someone. She lowered her eyes. Before, when my date was sick, he was busy with work, so forget it, it's meaningless. She said casually, anyway, lovers should care for each other. If one side gives too much and the other side gives too little, it won't achieve the training objective. She turned to leave. I'll go book a hotel room. You get some rest. She was about to leave when the tentacles pulled her back, seemingly unwilling to let her go. They kept Chiral ing around her, making her fidget. Ease up a bit. He turned his face away, avoiding her gaze. Don't look at me. I can't do anything about it. I told you to leave earlier. No matter how she struggled, the tentacles wouldn't release her. There was no way to break free. A thought struck her. Tell you what, if you let me go, you can all Chiral me later. He wondered if she was crazy, negotiating with tentacles. What was she thinking? This is life. As long as you're an animal lover, anything is possible. As soon as she finished speaking, the tentacles immediately let go. Yes, they instantly retracted. You can cling to me, wrap around me, touch me, whenever you want. He wondered what she was thinking, saying such things. The tentacles released her. She found it amusing. We can communicate. Thank you, puppies. She leisurely walked towards the phone. He couldn't even do that. What's going on? Usually when my body is touched for this long, but she was able to say those things. He watched as the tentacles shot out little hearts while she was on the phone. Yes, book a room next door. Suddenly, a thought crossed his mind. Could they actually understand? Acting on the thought, he immediately said, don't move. Stop. But the tentacles seemed determined to defy him. Annoyed, he said, let go. It seems they haven't acknowledged me as their master yet. Useless. He looked at her. What was she doing? She said, okay, if it hasn't recovered by tomorrow, we'll stay another day. She's the embodiment of capitalism, but I still have work, so let's get some rest tonight. He then realized that Hanju was planning to stay as well. She nodded while brushing her teeth. Rinsing her mouth, she continued, I was going to get another room, but since I promised those little devils, I can't go back on my word. She finished showering, changed her clothes, and emerged looking refreshed. Anyway, the contract states absolutely no XXX services, so I don't think Wan Shun will do anything to me. He won't, but the tentacles might. No wonder the emperors of old were so obsessed with women. Night fell, and in the room, she slept soundly, completely unconscious. Only he watched her peaceful sleeping face, lost in thought. She's already asleep. So fast. Even though they were still Kyaro and her, the tentacles kept moving. He smiled. She hasn't changed a bit. Back 18 years ago, she snored just like this. He looked at the little girl, sleeping soundly. He had woken from his nap to find someone next to him. He said, hey, wake up. Are you a newly recruited test subject? Why are you wandering around here? 8-year-old Han Ju rubbed her eyes. Huh, test subject. Her voice was still thick with sleep. I'm not. I just climbed over the wall. He panicked. Climbed over the wall. How is that possible? Could she climb that incredibly high wall? Then she finally realized, a talking dog. I had just been talking so much, and now I realized, oh no, I can't let ordinary people discover my abnormality. So he immediately switched modes, barking like a normal dog. She remained calm. Even if I start learning dog language now, I won't go crazy. He knew he couldn't hide it anymore. Since you know, why don't you leave quickly? He explained, outsiders aren't allowed in the research institute. It's dangerous if you're caught. She was stunned. But the sign outside says it's a children's welfare home. I've run away from home for a while and don't want to go back. He hadn't expected to encounter someone so fearless. What? No. Inside the gates and walls are monsters who are injected with drugs every day. I'm a monster too. Who knows? I might even eat you. He thought this method would work, scaring her so she wouldn't end up like him, being cut open again and again by those men and women in lab coats. She watched his movements, mimicking him. Then her hand touched his. He was dumbfounded. What was she doing? I thought it would be some romantic scene, but she grabbed me tightly and then mercilessly threw me to the ground. I yelped, ouch. Who was the monster now? I wriggled around. Ow, that hurts. Why did you suddenly attack me? She placed her hand in front of me to comfort me. Don't worry, Xiao Su is strong. He won't be eaten by monsters. So, Monster Gidge doesn't need to worry about Xiao Su getting hurt. In that moment, she touched something within me, back in the present, if she has lost her memories and become a complete stranger. Even when I transformed into a monster, she was never afraid of me. I clutched my chest. It's just, my eyes reddened, remembering the image of her rushing into the fire, yelling, run. That scene has always haunted me. Now, I've lost the right to stay by her side. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the window. She sleepily opened her eyes. Where am I? Suddenly, she saw a handsome man beside her. She wasn't panicked at all. Then she remembered, oh, right. After Wan Shun's transformation last night, we stayed here. I wonder if he's feeling any better. Her whole body stiffened. Something hard was pressing against her. Why can't I move? A bad feeling crept over her. Pulling back the covers, she saw a mass of tentacles writhing. So many. She finally spoke. Let go of me. She sounded a little embarrassed. Why are you even inside my clothes? It's slimy and uncomfortable. Can we play after I get off work? But she still couldn't move. I woke up groggily. Hanju was awake and struggling with the tentacles. Wan Shun, you're just in time. These tentacles were so well-behaved yesterday, but today they're suddenly out of control, tying me to the bed. I was completely stunned, about to speak, when she looked worried. The sensation from the tentacles transmitted to me, and then they tightened around her, sliding and impossible to resist. The tentacles coiled tightly around her, moving to sensitive areas. She gasped. What are they doing now? Watching the scene, his blood rushed. He turned his face away, embarrassed. I'm sorry. I explained yesterday. I can't fully control them yet. He was determined. No, I can't watch any more Korean dramas. My body is reacting even more strongly. He forced himself to calm down. However, after a night of synchronized experience, I can roughly distinguish the direction of these tentacles. Can you give me some time? She said it was fine. Okay, thank you for your hard work. He was sweating profusely. Normally, the mutated parts will gradually increase their adaptability to the body over time. It's just that they instinctively perform adsorption operations, and this will connect with my thoughts. Then he looked at the tentacles as if chanting. This tentacle connection successful. This tentacle is also fine, and this one too. When he saw that place, his heart pounded. Tentacles are also part of the body. A light emanated a strange feeling. It was as if he had many versions of himself touching Hanju's skin. She tried to endure it, her cheeks flushed. Are you done yet? They'd taken quite a bit of advantage of her. Perhaps just as he was about to achieve enlightenment, he was pulled back to the mortal world by her words. Almost done. This phrase sounded familiar. She retorted, how long is almost? She practically wanted a kowtow in worship. Although she had decided to pretend to be his girlfriend, intimate contact was inevitable. But this felt like playing a game. It was still so awkward. He was trying his best, what she called suffering, but there was really nothing he could do. If he withdrew, Wan Shun would be injured. He was about to achieve true enlightenment. Okay, with the last update, all connections can release her. One tentacle took the lead, as if it had found its target, and she was the fish that slipped through the net. He only then realized that the tentacle had launched a conquest. He was startled. Wait, what's it trying to do? He shouted urgently, be careful. He had only one thought, control it immediately. Who would have thought? That tentacle only gently kissed her cheek. Even she was startled. It seems to have kissed me. He was slightly petrified. Then he retracted his hand, watching her toy with it. Should I return the kiss? Quick as a flash, he actually kissed her back. He blushed, his mind a jumble. A kiss happening. He couldn't help but moan. Suddenly, the tentacles retreated, startling her. She said, Wan Shun can control his body now. His legs at the same time, the tentacles disappeared. He was shocked. The tentacles, they're gone. Impossible. Just as he denied it, she stretched. What's impossible? Phew. Finally free, my hands were squeezed so tight. He stamped his foot. Since I was born, I've never suddenly reverted back to normal during a transformation. She continued, so, both the previous mutation and the sudden stop just now seem to be related to you. This is so strange. His gaze fell on her. Why? If she knew, her life would be in danger. At Julu Jewelry headquarters, the boss, Sun Ji, walked out resignedly. Who knew? Even though the company said there was no need to clock in, this seemed to be her only time being late in the past 2 years. Fortunately, Wan Shun got off work late, otherwise it would have affected him. Her eyes were thoughtful. But are there really mutants in this world? Her expression suddenly changed. Interesting. A small voice called out, Ms. Han. She turned around and saw Xiaoshan waving. Ms. Han, are you all right? They were standing at the entrance to the boss's office. She finally reacted. What's wrong, Xiaobai? Xiaobai hesitated and whispered, this morning. She froze. My mom came to check on me. She was sweating. My family is here. Then she pushed the door open and walked in, saying, Mom, why didn't you tell me you were coming? Her mother, the woman before her, Wang Jianli, Hanju's mother, and the newly appointed director at Julu Jewelry, whispered, a surprise inspection is the best way to catch the general manager sleeping in. Being on time for 100 days is less effective than being late once. She muttered under her breath. I wasn't sleeping in. I was just late for work. Hanju scratched her head. There was a bit of an incident. A friend had a little situation. As she spoke, she didn't realize her mother had already noticed the wound on her wrist. Her mother immediately stood up. Wait, your wrist is injured. Hanju froze. Injured. Without another word, her mother came over to inspect it, and Hanju was terrified. Wasn't this the mark left by Wan Shun's tentacles? A chill ran down her spine. Who did this? Who dares to touch the Han family's daughter? Hanju panicked. How could she explain this? The tentacle marks didn't look like they were caused by a person. If her mother investigated further, she might take it to a lab. Her mother had that kind of stubborn, overbearing personality. She bit her lip. If the worst happened, Wan Shun's secret would be in danger. So, there was only one way. She said softly, Mom, please calm down and listen to me. No one hurt me. I did this to myself. Her mother was stunned. What do you mean? This doesn't look like you did it yourself at all. Hanju's face suddenly flushed crimson, and sweat beaded on her forehead. It's just that. Your daughter is interested in that kind of thing. I recently got a boyfriend, and we tried it last night, but we didn't do anything besides tie some ropes. Those images began to flash in her mind. Her mother practically choked on her own spit. Between a man and a woman. Hanju forced a smile. Of course, after trying it, I found it quite painful and realized I'm a normal person. She felt exhausted. Clearly, pretending to be submissive was tiring. If it weren't for protecting Wan Shun. Her mother finally spoke. Are you telling me the truth? Hanju nodded repeatedly. Every word is true. I'm normal, and I've successfully gotten a boyfriend, so you don't have to nag me anymore. An idea struck her. She could use this opportunity to put her fake boyfriend plan into action. She sat down and smoothly continued. If you're worried, I can bring him to meet you sometime. She said it casually, but her mother didn't take it that way. Then let's meet next week. A double kill. Hanju panicked. We haven't known each other long. Isn't that too soon? Her mother speculated, you must have been rejected on a blind date and just picked up some guy named Zhang Wan Shun at a bar or something. Hanju immediately pulled out an invitation. Whether it's rushed or not, the Liao family's banquet is next week. Hanju's first blind date was with young Masterly. She gently reminded her mother, I originally planned to take you and then visit young Masterly to smooth things over between our families. But since you already have a boyfriend, you can bring him along to prove that the Han family's daughter isn't desperate. She sneered that Mrs. Li keeps bragging about how outstanding her son is. Let's see if he can find a new girlfriend so quickly too. Hanju remained silent, her hands clenched into fists. She softly called out, Mom, but then fell silent. The only way to prove she wasn't unwanted was to bring a boyfriend. Back at the familiar change bar, as soon as she sat down, she explained to Wan Shun, basically, not attending the party will arouse my mom's suspicion, so the fake boyfriend plan has gotten a bit complicated. So, Wan Shun, are you free next Wednesday to go with me? I'll triple your pay. He pondered for a long time. The evening is fine, but not past midnight. He explained, you know about my transformation cycle. Hanju suddenly remembered. Right, Wan Shun would transform into a wolf that night, or rather, Thursday morning. Just like Cinderella's transformation time. Maybe. She chuckled. It's okay. The banquet is just a formality. It won't last all night. He glanced at her. What's she laughing about? Then he agreed. All right, I'll calculate the time and get off work to pick you up. She nodded. Okay, thank you. I might need to hang around your bar a lot lately, in case my mom asks about this. Good. I'll take this opportunity to adjust my schedule and try to keep you here. Suddenly, he sighed. He turned to look at her. Although he wanted to say something, he decided to ask her first. She was curious. Ask what? 7,749 scenarios flashed through her mind. Pretending to be a bartender probably wouldn't reveal his information. He regained his serious expression. Do you really want to pretend to be my girlfriend? She said firmly, of course, sincerely, no pretense. He turned away, accepting her answer for the time being. All right, since that's the case, I'll play along. Couples shouldn't address each other as Miss Han and Mr. Wan. We don't look like a couple at all right now. That sentence hit her like a bolt of lightning. She thought it made perfect sense, right? Just like he said, they didn't look like a couple at all. They were more like partners. It was too obvious. Hanju glanced at him surreptitiously. Are you saying we should change how we address each other? He replied, not entirely, but it's the first thing we need to do. He continued, the long time we haven't been in contact can explain the distance between us, but intimacy can't be faked, only acted. She immediately exclaimed, you're a real expert in love. She chuckled. Okay, so should I call you Wan Shun or boyfriend from now on? Shorten your 3-character name to 2, or should you, Wan Shun, give me a nickname? He lowered his eyes and thought. A nickname? Then he asked, don't I get a say in this? She said innocently, no, you choose. He paused, poured some wine in her glass, and then set down the bottle, the whole process unhurried. He leaned closer, their eyes meeting. In that case, can I call you Xiao Ju? She flustered slightly. Of course, it's quite common. She sensed something strange. What's going on? Why is your face suddenly so close? Suddenly, the name echoed in her mind, Xiao Ju. She recalled an image of herself playing with a small dog. It barked a few times. She remembered rolling around in the grass with it, the two of them once very close. Woof woof, Xiao Ju. The flashback made her head spin. She groaned. He asked with concern, Miss Han, are you all right? She reassured him, I'm fine, just a sudden headache. I remembered a friend from my childhood. She felt there must be something more to it. I think I heard a dog barking, but how is that possible? Dogs only go woof woof. Woof woof. He suggested, Miss Han, if you're not feeling well, I can give you a simple massage. She was surprised, not expecting him to be so multi-talented. You know how to give massages. He explained, working in the service industry, you pick up a few things. She replied, already lying down, is that so? Can't pass up a free massage from a handsome guy. I'll trouble you then. But shouldn't a boyfriend remember this? Why are you still calling me Miss Han? His eyes flickered. After all, we're still working. Intimacy is for private time. She wasn't too happy about this. There's no one else here right now. No need to worry. Relaxing. She brought up the earlier incident. Just now, when you called my name, it reminded me of my childhood. It felt so nostalgic. Back then, I loved running off to play in the small garden because there was a really cute dog there. Hearing this, he panicked slightly, applying a bit too much pressure with his hands. The pain made her yelp. She mumbled drowsily, "What's wrong? Why so much pressure all of a sudden?" But it still feels great, super comfortable, top-notch service. He gently stroked her. "Did I use too much strength? I'm sorry. I'll be gentler," he asked tentatively. Speaking of which, Xiaoju must have been very spoiled as a child, right? Why do you only remember a dog? Was there anything special about it? She replied calmly, actually not spoiled at all. Everyone in my family only cared about my brother, completely forgetting they had a doll-like daughter. She recalled a childhood memory of accidentally overhearing her parents arguing while opening a door. When Hanju is a little older, we'll send her to the Wang family as a child bride. Her mother had shouted, "Han Xin, are you crazy? That's your own daughter." Every time, it would wag its tail and bark at me, as if accepting me. It was also the only creature that proved my existence, Hanju's existence. A nostalgic look entered her eyes as she spoke. That's why I loved it so much. Only watching her, his gaze gradually darkened. So that's how it was. But he didn't think so. Hanju's memory had indeed been subtly altered. She didn't remember that she was that little dog before her transformation, and that it had even spoken to her. That memory had become a normal recollection of a person and their pet. Well, is this enough? She noticed his action as he clenched his jaw, reminding himself that he absolutely couldn't let her regain her memory. The Liao family's 4-day banquet had arrived. In the extremely luxurious hall, she walked in arm with him, waving and calling out, "Mom, we're here." Her mother was surprised. Wang gently looked at him. "This young man is quite handsome." She introduced, "The one I mentioned to you before. This is Wan Shun. Wan Shun, this is my mom." As soon as she finished speaking, he bowed and greeted, "Hello, Annie." His eyes were firm. "I'm Xiaoju's boyfriend." At this moment, he looked incredibly handsome, making the girl beside him skip a heartbeat. She glanced at Wan Shun, who smiled sincerely. She placed a hand on her chest, thinking, why is my heart suddenly beating so fast? Maybe it's just the lack of sleep these past few nights. Just then, her mother said to him, "Oh, this young man is handsome and tall. Hanju has good taste. Even if he doesn't have a stable job right now, it doesn't matter, the Han family." She interrupted, "Mom, aren't you going to greet Aunt Liao? She seems to be over there." Her mother was startled and turned around. "Oh, I should go say hello." Then she explained to him, "See that person over there? That's my blind date from last time, also my childhood sweetheart from my school days." 27-year-old Li Chengfeng, the young master of the Li family, politely replied, "Hello, Annie." He listened selectively and immediately asked, "Childhood sweetheart?" His eyes filled with contemplation as he remembered, "I think she mentioned that once." Flashback to their childhood, she lay on his lap. "Oh, there are many reasons why I'm hiding here." She continued, "My dad wants to marry my sister off to someone. That guy keeps harassing and bullying her." Hearing this, a pang of heartache struck him. "Bullying?" He asked again. She explained, "A weird classmate. I guess you could call him a childhood sweetheart too. I don't know why, but he's always bad-mouthing me with his friends, pulling my hair, ripping my books. It's so annoying." Just as she described, the group came over to mock her, tearing her books and shouting, look at her watching Korean dramas. She's so strong, not like a girl at all. Her long hair is hilarious." He was stunned. "Why are they treating you like this? Xiaosu isn't a weirdo, and she hasn't done anything wrong." She turned around. "Maybe they just hate me. The books say that people are prejudiced against things they don't understand." Then he softly said, "Yeah, I was abandoned by my parents because of my innate ability to transform into animals." She caught the keyword and asked, "Parents?" Her eyes lit up. Could Xiao Shun be a person, not a dog? Hearing this, his pride took a hit. How could there be a talking dog in this world? His eyes dimmed. "But I heard the researchers say that a long time ago, a meteorite fell to Earth, and then a small number of mutants appeared. These people are born with unstable forms and can transform into living animals or even objects." She listened with the fascination of hearing a fairy tale. "Wow, that's amazing. So, can Xiao Shun turn into a human?" He averted his gaze and hummed an affirmation, making her excited. "That's great. Can you transform and show me?" He was true to his word. It's almost time for my transformation. He stammered. I wonder if Xiao Su will like my human form. She immediately jumped up and touched his face. Oh my god, you're super cute. Your face looks so soft and adorable. Really? He shyly turned his face away. No, not at all. She said seriously, you look super cute. Your white hair is so unique. If only my childhood sweetheart were Xiao Shun. That would be wonderful. Back in the present, she reminded him, anyway, your mission today is to convince my mom that we're really dating, so she'll stop nagging me every day. She kept muttering to herself, not noticing Li Chengfeng watching her. As for this Li Chengfeng, it's no big deal. We'll handle him. He asked again, so you don't want anything to do with him anymore, right? Right. Li Chengfeng had already set his sights on her, and she loathed him. That guy is super persistent. It's nothing but trouble if he's got his eye on you. If he bothers you, leave him to me. If our identities are exposed, we're both done for. The two whispered, oblivious to their surroundings. Li Chengfeng casually picked up a glass of wine from a nearby table and slowly walked towards them, an exceedingly friendly smile on his face. Miss Han, it's been a while. How have you been? Let's chat. She flatly refused. Oh, our relationship is a bit delicate right now, so let's not. Mr. Li, you should go find someone who genuinely likes you chat with. He immediately switched targets. Miss Han, you have such a short memory. Who said I have someone I like? It's you, and the gentleman beside you. This is... Before he could finish, Wan Shun stepped forward and said, hello, it doesn't matter who I am, but Hanju hasn't had dinner yet, so she can't talk to you right now. Please excuse us. His intervention startled her. Wang Jianli, watching from afar, noticed this and chuckled to herself. So cool, truly professional. If I didn't know this was all part of Xiao Shun's job, I'd really think he was jealous. Mom looked super pleased with him too. Indeed, Hanju's mother was very satisfied, even whispering to Mrs. Li beside her. Now it was Hanju's turn. She gently cleared her throat. Basically, that's how it is. With that, she walked over and put her arm around Wan Shun's shoulder. We'll be over there then. We won't disturb you, Mr. Li. For some reason, Li Chengfeng suddenly lunged forward. You. This startled her, catching her completely off guard. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his wrist. It was Hanju's mother who had acted first. She gently reminded him, Sir, is there something you need? The gazes of the four met in the air, sparks flying. Li Chengfeng sked, shaking off her hand. Hanju, you haven't changed a bit. You've been like this since we were kids. I can't stand it. I always thought I'd never be flustered, and I'd never be like those people around me. He wanted to flatter her, but realized he might be an exception. He'd always thought she'd be on his side, but not only was she not, she kept provoking her. Hey, Hanju, this young master requests a song. It seemed he thought too highly of himself. Why don't you ever notice me? She coldly turned her face away, refusing. Sorry, I have an appointment. Even now, she coldly turned and walked away. Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying, Wan Shun. Let's go, she said, leaving him standing alone as usual. In the women's restroom, she felt a surge of satisfaction. Mom's happy. The Ling family hasn't caused any trouble. Let's go home later. Besides, it's for his own good. He has to leave before dawn, or Mr. Wan might transform into... Her thoughts were interrupted by someone walking in. Ah, hello. Can we talk? The newcomer was Xiang Tianqi, the heiress of the Xiang Corporation, female, 28 years old. She slowly began, I'm Xiang Tianqi. I work at the Xiang Corporation. You're Miss Han, who runs the jewelry business, right? Hanju thought, you don't just like handsome guys, you like pretty women too. Wow, a handsome woman. If I weren't here to use the restroom, I would have misunderstood. She immediately shook her hand. Yes, I'm Hanju. I've heard so much about you, President Xiang. What can I do for you? Xiang Tianqi, scratch her head. Haha, there is something I'd like to ask for your help with. Xiang Tianqi got straight to the point. I plan to propose to my boyfriend of many years. I'm preparing to buy a ring, but the style is a bit special. I've been to hundreds of stores, and they've all refused. Hanju was touched. It was rare to see a woman proposing. She grasped the key word, special. As long as it's within the range of materials we have, we should be able to make it. Xiang Tianqi hesitated a bit. Ah, how should I explain this? I want to make a lot of them, in sizes from 1 centimeter to 5 centimeters. A set of men's rings in decreasing sizes. Price isn't an issue. Hanju was stunned. A 5-centimeter bracelet. What's the use of making so many? A bunch of question marks popped up in her head. Does she have a lot of boyfriends and doesn't know their ring sizes? Xiang Tianqi went on to explain, worried about being questioned further. I can't say why. Everyone has their secrets. Hanju immediately understood. All right, I won't ask. I thought it was something serious. This is simple. It would be best if you could come to our company sometime, so you can carefully choose the style. A look of joy appeared on Xiang Tianqi's face. Really? Thank you so much. I'll leave it to you then. Back in the hall, he stood alone in a corner, avoiding people's attention. He was preoccupied with eating, wondering why Hanju was taking so long. He felt something was off, a restless stirring in his body. He had to suppress it. Just as his mind wandered, a figure approached. Yo, Wan Shun's here too. He started to speak. If you're looking for Hanju, she's in the restroom. Li Chengfeng remained polite. I know, but I'm looking for you. He turned around. Sorry, I don't know you. He got straight to the point. Leave Hanju. Name your price. TCH, are you trying to imitate those vicious female villains in movies who throw money at people? I just think you might need it. He only glanced at him with half an eye, saying nothing. Li Chengfeng still clung to some wishful thinking. You're a bartender. You must want your own bar, right? As long as you break up with Hanju, I'll transfer one to you immediately. He interrupted him. I don't understand. He roared. How can your small bar compare to the entire Han family? Li Chengfeng was completely dumbfounded. You mean you don't want it? He put down his food. That's right. Unfortunately, I'm not that stupid. Accepting your offer would only give me one bar. But if I can please Miss Han, then I'll be the future son-in-law of the Han family. So, if young Masterly wants me to leave Hanju, he gave a very friendly smile, then you'll have to offer something comparable to the Han family. Don't you think so? Li Chengfeng was frightened and took a few steps back, already losing in terms of Qi Shi. This guy's ambition is. He gritted his teeth. But luckily, I came prepared. As soon as Hanju came out, she spoke. What are you two whispering about? She walked to his side. It's getting late. Let's go home. He replied, okay. Li Chengfeng hurriedly put down his glass. Wait, Hanju. He pulled something out of his pocket. There's something I want you to hear. Decide after you've listened to it. It was the recording of their conversation just now. But if I can please Miss Han, then I'll be the future son-in-law of the Han family. His tone was full of provocation. Are you still going with him? His eyes looked quite confident. The recording continued playing. How can your bar compare to the entire Han family? If young Master Li wants me to leave Hanju, then you'll have to offer something comparable to the Han family. Everyone stood in silence. Li Chengfeng questioned Hanju. Do you see this man for who he really is? He's not as innocent as you think, and he's already set his sights on your family's fortune. He glared at her, but she seemed unconcerned, holding his arm. Understood. She turned to leave. Let's go. She ignored Li Chengfeng's shouts from behind. Hey, don't you get it? He doesn't like you at all. He's just using you. Even so, you're still so blind. It was her turn to retort. So, young Masterly, are you saying all this because you like me? You're meddling too much. Stay out of my family affairs. Li Chengfeng stood there, gnashing his teeth in anger. Meanwhile, as he walked beside her, his eyes couldn't help but glance at her, his heart pounding uncontrollably. In the parking lot, her voice was cheerful. Great, the problem solved. Let's go home. She usually lived in an apartment, not the villa, so when she opened the car door, she asked him, where do you live? Is it on the way to the company? He replied, I've been drinking. I can't drive. I'll get a designated driver. No need, I could drive. I'll give you a ride. She perked up. Great. She got in the car. Just drive straight ahead. See you next time. No, wait. She then asked him, since you're free, why don't you just drive to my place? There's a guest room. His mind wasn't on that at all. You seem to have completely forgotten what just happened. She looked confused. His gaze turned cold. I have ulterior motives towards the Han family. I'm a bad guy using you to climb the social ladder. She was silent for a moment before speaking. Mr. Wan, do you really think so? Yes. The car continued to drive smoothly down the road. He replied, isn't easily acquiring a fortune an opportunity everyone dreams of? She nodded. That's fine too. But being a live-in son-in-law isn't like being a lazy bum. If you want to seize power, you'll have to make a lot of achievements to prove yourself first. He was slightly startled. Do you even know what you're saying? Aren't you worried that after marriage, a man who doesn't love you will cheat you out of half your family fortune? She remained calm. Of course I know. How else could I have gotten to where I am today? But the fact that Mr. Wan can say it directly proves that what you said to Mr. Li was deliberate. I don't think you're interested in the Han family's assets. Or should I ask, if I were to buy your marriage with money, would you be willing? He froze. A long silence followed. Why wouldn't I be? Feelings are worthless. I recalled, when I was young, I overheard a conversation through a crack in the door. The Han family's investment has arrived. We can speed up the research. Haha, they're practically our biggest shareholder, always with the most money. It seems they really support that cultivation plan. That's right. I heard the Han family even bought the experimental subjects. Otherwise, how could the people behind the research institute hurt people and get away with it? Those guys just treat those humanoid monsters as disposable consumables. Hearing this, my blood boiled. Another day, I softly called her name, Hanju. A trace of doubt crept into my heart, even though I didn't want to suspect her. Xiaosu seems to come from a prominent family, too. Have you heard of the Han Corporation? She woke up, rubbing her eyes. She said blankly, I've heard of it. It sounds super familiar because that's my family. Hearing this, I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. Suddenly, another voice rang out. Mr. Wan. She sat up and called out, Mr. Wan, what are you thinking about? Why aren't you answering? I snapped back to reality. I quickly regained my composure. Sorry, I was concentrating on driving. What did you just say? She replied, nothing. Drive safely. She stretched. Even if I agree with you that work has a higher return than investing in a partner, sometimes I also want to fight for someone like a moth to a flame. It seemed my true colors were about to be exposed. I replied, there's no point in being a moth to a flame, especially when there's a huge disparity in power. She laughed awkwardly. Haha, it's okay. She continued leisurely. Even if I wasn't very capable before, I believe in myself now. I can definitely do something for my partner. I fell silent. I muttered under my breath, without power, everything is empty talk. She pricked up her ears. Mr. Wan, what did you say? I didn't hear you clearly. I evaded the question. Nothing. We're almost at the apartment. Take care. She didn't ask again and got out of the car. Okay, thank you for the ride. Are you really not going to come in and sit for a while? We haven't had enough time to get to know each other. I shook my head. Inviting a man into your home is very dangerous. Please behave yourself, Miss Han. She asked, what are you muttering about? She didn't quite understand. We've already shared a room. Why are you still hesitating about this? I quickly covered my face. All right, leave me alone. You should go. She suddenly turned around. Wait, it looks like Mr. Wan's change is coming. It's early again. She suddenly panicked and then hurried back into the car. She quickly ducked inside, trying to hide him. The security guard outside looked curious, but he didn't do anything. Arriving on the 23rd floor of her apartment, the elevator doors opened, and she said breathlessly, okay, there's something moving under that coat. She said, my apartment building has strict security. No one can sneak in. Then she looked down at the moving thing. Oh my God, turning into tentacles was scary enough, but I didn't expect you to turn into a polar bear this time. What a complete transformation. Hearing this, he let out a few depressed howls, and she understood the problem. What's wrong? Can't you talk in this form? Then what do you eat? Raw meat, without any seasoning. He howled again, as if joking, and she chuckled. Haha, just kidding. Then she opened the door, reminding him, but no peeing or pooping everywhere. We'll deal with the rest after you've recovered. He was surprised. So many dogs. She loved dogs, each one small and cute. She warned, oh, and no biting things. It's not like you can't talk. You haven't actually turned into an animal. I wouldn't bite anything even if you offered it to me. She let him in. You can sleep in the living room tonight. Okay. My bed is almost 2 meters wide. It should fit you, right? He shook his head, thinking he would crush it. Even he didn't understand what he was doing. She just found him incredibly cute. What? You're too polite. Do you want to order some sashimi or salmon for tomorrow morning? Order quickly. Otherwise, they won't have time to deliver it so early. He desperately tried to hide it, but she still said, silence means consent. She immediately went to place the order. Hello, I'd like to buy some high-quality salmon. He couldn't speak, so he just endured it, thinking that eating human food was fine too. Let me guess. Right now, he's sullenly huddled in a corner of the bed, trying to squeeze in. This bed is impossible to sleep on. Even if he squeezed in, it wouldn't make much difference. And I also want to sleep on the floor all night. He was depressed. I'll cause her trouble again. At this rate, Korean dramas will eventually be harmed. Just like before, when I discovered the truth as a child, I couldn't control myself. Do you even know who I have to thank for everything I've been through? She was stunned. What's wrong? Why are you suddenly so angry? He gritted his teeth and said, I trusted Xiaosu so much, but Xiaosu was in cahoots with the people who wanted to kill me. He lost control, causing her to cry out in pain. It hurts. He was squeezing her neck, and she didn't understand why. Calm down. Who wants to hurt you? I don't understand at all. He yelled, you don't understand. But it's too strange that Xiaosu suddenly appeared here. Obviously, someone like me shouldn't be liked by anyone. You must have ulterior motives for approaching me. Tell me, what's your purpose here? Something terrifying appeared behind him. She looked at the boy in front of her. Xiaochun couldn't believe it. I like him. She was about to speak. He didn't stop yelling. Tell me, do you want to use me for experiments? Or do you want to observe this disgusting appearance of mine up close? She was silent for a long time. You were a wolf a few days ago. How did you suddenly? He flew into a rage. It's all because of your family. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been injected with so many drugs. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in so much pain. His tears fell on her face. She looked directly at him and softly said, Xiaochun, do you think that if you kill me, you can take revenge on those who hurt you? Tears welled up in his eyes. I don't want to kill Hanju. His grip loosened, his voice trembling. It hurts so much. He hugged her. It hurts so much. I don't even know why it hurt so much. The terrifying thing behind him gradually disappeared. He was in agony. I should hate you, but I can't. I don't want you to hate me either. She was silent, then stroked him. Tell you what, I'll help you escape. The offer shocked him. He looked up. She repeated, I said, I'll help you escape. A voice came from somewhere unknown. Hanju, if you want to be a good person, you cannot have any blemishes. Otherwise, you are the disgrace of the Han family. She was sleeping soundly, but those voices kept echoing in her ears. Hanju, don't resist, and don't question whether you are right or wrong. Obedience is the simplest and easiest thing to do. She slowly opened her eyes. A terrifying scene appeared. She was bound and unable to escape. She only needed to obey the elder's orders, be obedient. Suddenly, she woke up from the terrible nightmare. Deep in the night, she held her head, having had another nightmare. She got up to drink some water, her face covered in sweat. Lately, she kept dreaming of being entangled by monsters, and sometimes she even had hallucinations. That's strange. As soon as she stepped out of the room, she flinched, as if she had kicked something. What's that? She looked down and saw a polar bear snoring, sleeping by the door. Did she just step on him? He was sleeping like a log and wouldn't wake up even if she stepped on him. Was he too tired? Speaking of which, Wan Shun couldn't talk when he turned into an animal. Why do I keep having this illusion that animals can talk? She thought as she poured water, a childhood scene flashing through her mind. She quickly shook her head. Forget it. I can't project my vague feelings for that puppy onto Mr. Wan. It's disrespectful to both of them. She finished her glass of water, but her expression remained pensive. Li Qingfeng was right about one thing. Mr. Wan is just someone who works for money. He can't possibly like me. But looking at the fluffy, soft fur of the sleeping form, she couldn't help herself. The greed in her eyes sent a chill down his spine. But even if there were no feelings between them, he was now just a fluffy animal, an extremely rare polar bear. So she pounced without hesitation, and he missed his golden opportunity to wake up. This resigned expression looks so familiar. What is Hanju doing? If I open my eyes now, it'll be super awkward for both of us, especially in this perverted position. She keeps sniffing me. This is the scene he pictured in his mind. Playing dead is an option. No. Pretending to sleep is the best choice. She'll get bored and leave on her own. He'd overestimated her a bit, as her gaze shifted downwards. Speaking of which, Mr. One doesn't wear clothes when he's a polar bear, so I don't know if he's male or female. I just simply want to see if a bear's balls are big and round. At this moment, he was startled by her boldness. He looked down and found that she had already parted them. Han Yu, why is she so? She even pinched that spot. His face flushed crimson. No, this can't be happening. Even in bear form, his mind is still human. Is she a devil? Does she really think of me as just an animal? But this isn't good at all, is it? He had no choice but to drape his leg over her, startling her. Is he awake? Why are you blushing, you servant? She whispered. Mr. Wan. No response. She breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, just rolling over. She snuggled closer, her hand continuing to explore. This trip is really more dangerous than beneficial. I shouldn't have had any other intentions just now. She rubbed against him. So soft, so warm, sleepy. She was delighted. I love this so much. He hugged her. He opened his eyes, realizing something. Not being able to speak is also a sin. He screamed soundlessly. What does this mean, Hanju? Explain this to me. But she was already snoring, and he couldn't speak. He gritted his teeth, his heart racing, his hands gradually changing. Then he transformed back into his human form, silently holding her, not knowing what to say. The veins in his hands bulged. So I've gotten used to this feeling of losing control. The next morning, she was sent back to her own bed by some unknown force, sleeping soundly. She suddenly opened her eyes. She sat up, wondering what's going on. Wasn't I sleeping outside yesterday? How did I get back to bed? A clicking sound rang out. She turned to look. Slender hands were slicing sashimi. Surprised, she walked out. Mr. Wan, last night you recovered. He replied, yes, like tentacles, it comes and goes quickly. She sat down on a chair and nodded. So that's how it is. Could it be that if I transform first, the transformation time will be shortened? If the time is long, he continued cooking, adding, a similar situation has only happened twice, so I can't draw any conclusions yet. By the way, I signed for the salmon. As he spoke, he prepared several dishes. It looks so delicious in such a large portion. A human couldn't possibly eat this much. I've decided to borrow the kitchen and use it myself, he continued. Lunch. Her face flushed slightly. Is there anything you'd like to eat? She leaned closer. Wow, so domestic. Is Mr. Wan making me lunch? Breakfast is salmon fried rice. He hummed in acknowledgement. I don't have much to do this morning, so I'll make it and bring it to your company. This kind of food is best fresh. It'll taste a bit different if it's left out too long. She nodded and went to get something. That's right. It's been a while since I've eaten at home. I miss it. You're the best. Mr. Wan, I really want to marry you. She blurted out the words casually, but they sent ripples through his heart. He flashed back to a childhood scene of himself wolfing down food. She giggled beside him. Hee, eat slowly. I won't steal it from you. He was startled. This is Hanju's lunch. Sorry, I've never eaten anything so delicious. He finished all the rice before asking. This was Hanju's lunch. Aren't you hungry, giving it all to me? She didn't seem to mind. No, I ate a lot this morning, and I'm still full. Besides, I brought snacks. Let's try them together. She opened a box, revealing a set of incredibly cute pastries, leaving him amazed. Wow, little puppy. Then he noticed the one that was different. But why is that one gray? She evaded the question. The chef taught Xiao Ju how to make them, but no matter how hard I try, I can't make them round and cute. It seems I just don't have a talent for cooking. I can learn anything else instantly. His heart skipped a beat. Could Xiao Ju have made that one for me on purpose? He murmured, that gray one looks a bit like me. She quickly interrupted him. Don't say anything else. She snatched the pastry back. This is a one-time offer. Forget it. This isn't good. Don't eat it. Now he was anxious. No way. This is clearly made to look like me. You have to give it to me. He wasn't willing to lose to his own idea. No backing out. She dodged, but he caught her. Wait. It's going to fall. As soon as the words left her mouth, they bumped into each other. He secretly rejoiced. Got it. She panicked underneath him. Don't eat it. If even she gave up, then openly saying no would just be empty words. Thinking this, she sat up and took a bite of the pastry. She hummed. I've already put it in my mouth, implying, now it has my saliva on it. She continued eating, her face scrunched up. It's so gross. He was annoyed. The food that was almost his had flown away again. You mischievous little thing. You can't scare me away. Two stubborn children meeting, just like this. He went all out and ate the other half of the pastry. She finally couldn't hold back anymore and blurted out, Hey, what are you doing? Unmarried men and women can't kiss. Otherwise, I won't be able to get married. That's why I've been single. He served some rice, unfazed, and replied, Really? His smile was equally mischievous. Well, if Xiao Ju marries me, it won't be a problem. She froze, but he was excited. When we leave this place, I'll marry you. She looked up. Really? Can Xiao Shun replace the person my dad arranged for me to marry? He affirmed resolutely, Yes, it's a promise. She didn't say anything more, just smiled silently. Then I won't have to worry about being single anymore. A promise is a promise, but life isn't always a dream. Although they made a vow early on, unfortunately, in the end, I betrayed her. Somewhere in the bustling city center, Hanju was sitting in a discussion. Miss Yang, what do you think of this design? Larger rings are easier to work with, while very small rings will use micro-carving technology. Xiang Tianqi exclaimed, Haha, you're so talented. Then I'll take this one. Do you still remember this person? This is Xiang Tianqi, female, 28 years old, heir to Xiang's technology. She continued to ask, By the way, can I have names engraved on the ring? Those are minor details, no problem. Send me the words you want engraved, or tell me your lover's name. As they were discussing, a ringtone went off, and it was quite unique. Honey, answer the phone. Xiang Tianqi was a little embarrassed. Excuse me, can I take this call? How could Hanju refuse? Go ahead. But inwardly, she was complaining, using a boyfriend's voice as a ringtone in public, that's truly a social death ceiling. She started eavesdropping, listening to her conversation. Hello, I'm out, not at the company. I'm not slacking off. I'm working. Really? Trust me, I've just been a little busy lately. Xiang Tianqi was a little surprised. You're outside now. Okay, Don't come up, I'll come down to get you. Hey, don't hang up. Hanju suddenly became more attentive. Xiang Tianqi scratched her head. I'm sorry, CEO Han. My boyfriend installed a couple's location tracker on my phone. He's downstairs right now, coming to check on me. Her face was covered in question marks. Xiang Tianqi was also embarrassed because she was preparing a surprise for her boyfriend. Perhaps I could bring him up. Could you pretend we're just having a girls' get-together and help me fool him? Hanju's mind was buffering. Location tracking and coming up to check on her. I've seen it all now. She reluctantly nodded. Oh, all right. In her mind, she was also frantically complaining, your boyfriend, is there something wrong with his brain? The door suddenly opened and a voice rang out. Tianqi, so you're here. The door was suddenly flung open. Tianqi, you really are here. The man standing before her was Li Yu, a biotechnology researcher and Xiang Tianqi's boyfriend. He shouted in disbelief, just as I suspected. Tianqi, I really can't take it anymore. You've been acting so strangely these past few days, visiting all the major shopping malls, but not buying anything. What have you been doing behind my back? Xiang Tianqi started to explain. Haven't I already explained? I made a new friend. We're just hanging out and chatting. Xiang Tianqi quickly introduced them. Come, let me introduce you. This is Hanju, my best friend. Hanju, this is my boyfriend, Li Yu. Even Xiang Tianqi's appeasement couldn't quell the murderous aura emanating from Li Yu. He usually shuts himself away in the lab and isn't used to interacting with people, so please excuse him if he offends you. Hanju greeted him. Hello. Li Yu shouted again, lies. He abruptly pulled his hand back, his whole body trembling. Tianqi never likes shopping, especially not spending the whole day shopping with someone, unless... Hanju became nervous. Unless what? Li Yu shouted words that shocked everyone present. Unless she likes her. Hanju was speechless. Really, we're both girls. Mr. Li, you're overthinking it. But Li was far from convinced. Feelings can suddenly develop between people of the same sex. She was in the middle of using hairspray. No, don't talk about someone's sexual orientation like it's a game. Li Yu suddenly started crying. Tianqi must hate me for being so annoying. So, she's changing her mind. He covered his face. 7-year itch. Or, is it because I'm not good enough? I'll change. I really will. No, it's like everything about me is bad. I'm just a terrible boyfriend. She thought, none of these drama queens are as dramatic as him. He's improvising now. Li Yu felt his knees. It's understandable that Tianqi doesn't like me. Then he hugged Xiang Tianqi, sobbing. But I beg you not to leave me. Tianqi, please don't go, don't say you're leaving. She broke out in a cold sweat. Is this guy okay? Is he really Miss Xiang's boyfriend? Xiang Tianqi awkwardly patted Li Yu. Hey, Han Shun, don't be scared by him. She scratched her head and explained. Li Yu could be a bit dramatic, but he would never hurt anyone. I agreed to the tracking device. She waved her hand dismissively. It's okay, I understand. I just didn't expect Miss Xiang to like this type of guy. Xiang Tianqi comforted Li Yu. Okay, I won't leave you get up. Ugh, what do you mean this type? It's just that one day, I suddenly thought, this person is pretty good too. As Xiang Tianqi said this, her face glowed. Seeing Xiang Tianqi like this, Hanju was also stunned. Exasperated with the couple, she said with a smile, Mr. Li, let me be honest with you, Tianqi and I are really just ordinary friends. The reason I've been coming to the shop recently is because the girl blushed. Someone give her an Oscar. She wanted to pick out a birthday present for her boyfriend, but she couldn't make up her mind, so she had to ask Tianqi for help. Hearing this, Li Yu was stunned. She's definitely lying, basically pretending she's taken. I get it. Li Yu's expression immediately changed. Oh, so that's how it is. Now everything makes sense? One person understood. 2 people breathed a sigh of relief. He scratched his head, returning to his usual demeanor. See, there's no way Tianqi would leave him. Good to know you understand. Xiang Tianqi patted his head, speaking earnestly. She gestured to herself. Good job, bro. She sighed at the couple. Okay, now that the crisis is averted, I should... Before she could finish, Li Yu spoke up. So, tell me about your boyfriend's preferences. Sprayed with metaphorical glue for the second time. Li Yu looked arrogant. Aren't you picking out a gift? I'm a man too. I can give you some valuable advice. Who asked for your opinion? Directorly. Hanju almost kicked him out. Who asked for your help? She politely refused. There's no need for that. She thought, how can I say it? I don't even have a boyfriend. Li Yu's sixth sense kicked in. He asked suspiciously, why are you refusing? Were you lying just now? Her metaphorical temples bulged for the second time. Oh God, help me. Emergency improvisation. There's no turning back now. Since I promised Yang Tianqi, I have to see this through. She began, my boyfriend. Suddenly, a voice came from the door. Hanju, are you done? Everyone looked over. Bai Xiaoshan pushed the door open and walked in. This gentleman brought you lunch. He said he's an acquaintance of yours, and he's very handsome. The portions are quite large, so I wanted to ask if you need to arrange for guests to eat together. She walked over and asked, where is he? Bai Xiaoshan immediately pointed over there. He's setting up the food. She walked out and saw a familiar figure. Who else could it be but Wan Shun? He had just put down the bags when he looked up blankly. Ah, Hanju, am I interrupting you? I'll leave right away. Go where? Seeing him as her savior, she grabbed his arm. Don't go. Come with me. In the living room, for people sat around the dining table. The dishes were extremely sumptuous. It looks delicious. She immediately spoke up. Mr. Jiang is my boyfriend. No need to worry now, right? Li Yu snorted. I never doubted Tianqi. Xiang Tianqi let out an O from the side. Looking at the food, Xiang Tianqi praised, did Mr. Jiang make all of this? That's amazing. Li Yu became alert. While serving Hanju some food, she complimented her. You're so lucky. Li Yu stood up and shook Xiang Tianqi. Tianqi, I can cook too. Don't praise other men. Wan Shun whispered to her while serving her food. What are they doing? She thanked him and whispered back. I don't know either, but you'll have to suffer with me. Shu Fong turned to serve Lin Shi some food. But it really is delicious. Ah, sure, you should try it too. He immediately blushed. Humph, since Shu Fong said so. He spoke confidently, but he was actually delighted. She hummed in agreement. It does taste good. Lin Shi was enjoying his meal when he suddenly felt a tightness in his chest. He abruptly stood up, startling Shu Qingjia. Hey, Ashur, what's wrong? Lin Shi gasped, there's peanuts. Hanju froze. Peanuts. Just then he rushed out. Ashur. Shu Qingjia anxiously called out, turning back. Miss Han, please close the door and don't let anyone in. Hanju looked confused. Huh, what's going on? She immediately chased after him. If you're not feeling well, go to the hospital quickly. He ran over and grabbed her hand, shouting, Hanju. She turned around. Huh, what are you pulling me for? At that moment, he was stunned by the sight before him. Shu Qingjia came to his side. Ashur. Careful, thump thump. Lin Shi's body underwent a strange transformation, a spell, a person hidden within long robes. She felt the scene was both foreign and familiar. Hanju was stunned. Could he be? Wan Shun, standing next to them, also hummed in agreement. Mr. Lin is probably the same as me. Shu Qingjia hugged the squirming bundle in her arms. We both have mutated human bloodlines. Lin Shi, struggling to break free, was almost suffocating. Everyone sat down and came clean. Shu Qingjia continued to explain, since you two have already seen it, there's no use hiding it anymore. As you can see, my boyfriend occasionally shrinks, but he's not a monster. He's still conscious. I can guarantee that. She and Hanju both leaned in for a closer look. So tiny. Lin Shi panicked. Don't come any closer. Men and women shouldn't touch. I have a girlfriend. Shu Qingjia comforted him. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Lin Shi had been allergic to peanuts since childhood. Although it wasn't serious, as long as he accidentally ate peanut products, his body would change. It turned out shrinking gave Lin Shi a chance to act cute. Shu Qingjia further explained, sometimes it's just a few centimeters bigger or smaller. Sometimes it can become very small or very large. Fortunately, it's not getting bigger this time. Otherwise, the ceiling would be in danger. The man spoke, I'm sorry. I didn't know Mr. Lin had something to avoid. Shu Qingjia readily replied, it's not Mr. Zhang's fault. I didn't expect there to be peanut butter in the braised fish. As long as it didn't scare you, it's not a big deal. Please also keep the matter of mutated humans a secret. Then Hanju blurted out, oh, so that's why you ordered so many sizes, just in case you turn into any size. They all come in handy. She knew she'd misspoken. It seemed this time Shu Qingjia would bury her in the mountains. No, the matter of the ring had to be kept secret. Lin Shi asked curiously ordered. She quickly changed the subject, nothing. She leaned on his shoulder and smiled. We won't tell anyone, because we can understand this kind of human. Both Shu Qingjia and Lin Shi were surprised. That evening, at the place couples often went, she sat down and casually said, ah, I didn't expect Miss Yang's fiancé to also have this physique. What a coincidence. Are there so many mutated people? He hummed in response. She asked, what? Are you not happy? You have a companion now. His expression didn't match his words. Because he came from the research institute, he naturally knew Lin Shi wasn't the only mutated human. No, I'm happy. I'm just thinking, although Mr. Lin's mutation trigger is peanuts, what's mine? He had been pondering this question. She didn't know how to answer. To be honest, every time you, Wan Shun, suddenly mutated, I was there. He hummed. Without exception. She smiled. Then, since we've always been together, come to my place again tonight, and we'll do an experiment together. How about it? Only she would have such a bold idea to conduct an experiment. That night, at Hanju's place, she placed her bag on the table. "Make yourself at home." He hummed, but his eyes were fixed on the plush dog beside him. "Now that I know the situation, things are different. My transformation time has shortened this week. And although the tentacle growth time has increased, I seem to only be able to maintain the mutated state for a day. It's strange." She walked over with 2 glasses of water. "Is the shortened transformation time a bad thing?" He took the glass of water. "No, quite the opposite. Even if other people mutate, they usually don't do it as frequently as I do. Basically, it's because Mr. Lee created similar mutations at some uncontrollable nodes, thus triggering different kinds of mutations. Transformations can only be bigger or smaller. Turning into a wolf won't deviate into other creatures." She asked curiously, "Yeah, then why is Mr. Wan like this?" He was silent for a moment. "It's a long story, not important. Anyway, if the trigger for the mutation is Miss Hanju, then it might be worth experimenting a little. If we can control the frequency of the mutation, maybe I can work normally in the future." She tapped on her laptop, glanced at him, and hummed. Then she clapped her hands and changed the subject. "Go take a shower first. The mixed perfume smell from the bar is making me dizzy. We'll try it as soon as you're done showering." He replied, "Okay." He was being polite. "Don't be so polite," she retorted. "I still have work to do. You go first." He only replied with an okay. "Then I'll borrow your bathroom." She added, "There are new towels in the bathroom drawer." He took off his shirt, revealing the back that had once evoked endless fantasies. His figure was well proportioned, but his face couldn't relax. His face flushed red. "Why are we suddenly so close? And I'm even using her bathroom." He took off his pants, still standing by the bathtub. He thought, "No, don't overthink it. This is just a test. Hanju doesn't have any special feelings for me." His eyes were thoughtful, and I don't for her either. He remembered what she used to call him as a child. "Xiao Shun, I peeked at Dad's computer. I finally understand. The people at the Research Institute can find you because you have a tracking chip implanted under your skin. If you want to escape, you have to get it out. Where is the chip?" She bent down and pointed. "It seems to be near your ankle. Do you feel anything?" She examined it with him, and it seemed like there really was something hidden inside. "I noticed it before when I was taking a shower." He asked again, "But how are we going to get it out?" She fell silent. "Xiao Shun, are you afraid of pain?" "Pain? I don't like it, but I'm not afraid. I'm in pain every day anyway." She pressed his ankle, then asked seriously, "So, Xiao Shun, do you trust me?" He wasn't afraid, but rather happy. "Of course, although I misunderstood you before, I now realize that you are my most important friend." He grinned, "And also the person I will definitely marry in the future." The wind blew through her hair. She lowered her head, clasped her hands tightly, and hummed in agreement. Xiao Su went back to look through medical books. "I'll set you free soon." As she spoke, she had already prepared all the necessary medical tools, but her courage disappeared. Her hands trembled incessantly. She was very worried, a little scared. What if I cut too deep? What if the adults discover the wound? He held her trembling hand and comforted her. "It's okay. We can pretend that I'm not feeling well and need to rest for 2 days to avoid the experiments. They won't find out. Xiao Su is helping me cut it open." She hesitated, but I've never done anything like this before." He interrupted her. "Xiao Su," his eyes full of determination, "I believe in you, so you can believe in me too." She trembled, pondered, and looked at the boy in front of her. "Okay." Then she cut down. Back in reality, he was still absorbed in his reflection in the mirror, smoothing his hair. He sighed softly. Which girl was she? He thought he could forget, but he still remembered so clearly. Wan Shun, let it go. You have to let it go. Your existence only brings trouble." He thought as he opened the door. Everything was normal until he stepped inside. The first thing that came into view was a piece of women's underwear, and it was Hanju's. At the same time, she suddenly remembered, I think I forgot to put away the clothes hanging in the bathroom, and it seems like it was my underwear." She put down her phone. "Oh no, if Mr. Wan sees it, it'll be so embarrassing." She knocked on the door. "Mr. Wan, are you taking a shower? Can you open the door and let me get my clothes?" She was met with silence. She kept knocking and calling out, "Mr. Wan, Mr. Wan, are you there?" She also felt strange. Why wasn't there a response? Something's wrong. The soundproofing is really good, but it's such a close distance. How could he not hear me? And there's no sound of water. She heard a faint voice, Han. She put her ear to the door, as if a very faint voice was coming from inside. "Hanju, can you come in for a second?" She was certain now there really was a voice. She opened the door and went in. "Excuse me." Her heart was also a little uneasy. Could he have mutated into something strange? Could he? Wow. A chibi version of a person came into view. "Mr. Wan, how did you get so small?" He sat up. "I don't know. After his body shrunk, his voice also became smaller. She walked over to help him up, making him panic. Hey, don't just grab my pants. If he hadn't said anything, she wouldn't have noticed. Huh. Oh, so you were only wearing underwear when you mutated. But if I don't use your pants to wrap you up, you'll be naked. He blushed and turned around shyly. She laughed. Haha. Although you're small, it might be hard to tell, but there's still subtle differences between men and women, right? Speaking of which, I wasn't next to you when you mutated just now. Doesn't that prove that the previous times were just coincidences? It actually has nothing to do with you. He turned his face away and replied, it has a lot to do with you. He was still wondering why she had hung her underwear in the bathroom. He spoke softly, so she leaned in closer. What? He noticed another thing. Too close. He changed the subject. Today isn't a mutation cycle. It was definitely an external stimulus that caused the change. First, give me a handkerchief or something to make some clothes. These pants need to be washed. It's a little embarrassing to say, you know? Doesn't she mind touching my underwear? Then, tada, a dollhouse appeared. Luckily, I'm like a freaking magician who can conjure up surprises out of thin air. I was stunned. What does this even mean? She scratched her head. It's a dollhouse I bought for my niece. It has clothes inside for when she comes to play. She giggled so cute. She even picked out a pink dress for me. I was speechless. As long as I don't have to wear it, it's quite cute. But aren't there any boy clothes? She rummaged around. Of course not. How could this kind of toy have anything for boys? But then her eyes lit up. Wait, there actually is. She pulled out a prince outfit. Kids' toys these days are wild. She handed it to me. Put this on. She turned around to make a phone call. I'm going to call Han Xiaoji and ask her what to be careful of when you're small. Take your time changing. I looked at the clothes and thought, well, it's better than nothing, and it's a prince outfit. She exclaimed again, so handsome. Mr. Wan looks just like a prince from a fairy tale, Thumbelina's prince. I felt a little shy, but if I were a cold and domineering CEO, everyone else would just be a nobody. Even so, I still glared at her. Hanju said before that she wasn't interested in princes. She giggled. Yeah, not interested, but I'm at least a little interested. Besides, Mr. Wan is so small and cute, I really like it. I was stunned. Like me, just as I was immersed in the romantic atmosphere, she blew on me like a child. My originally handsome hairstyle was now completely messed up. Hey, what are you doing? She was amused. Haha. Hanju said it was okay. Tiny people are so fun. She poked me, and I was practically unable to resist anything she did. You've unknowingly gone from princess to villain. I emphasized word by word. How to quickly get her boyfriend liked by your family. Wang Jinli said with a big smile. Welcome, welcome. Hanju's mother said, I heard from Hanju that you specially took time off to come tonight. I'm so sorry. If you're busy, we can reschedule. He politely replied, it's okay. Annie, my work hours are flexible. Back to the topic of how to quickly get your boyfriend liked. The first step, greet everyone humbly and politely. He then asked, and this is, she immediately introduced, oh, let me introduce you. This is my partner, Hanju's stepfather. You can call him Uncle Chu. Uncle Chu shook his hand and greeted him. Hello, my surname is Chu Shun. Second step, give gifts that cater to their interests. Hanju quickly presented the gifts, which she had prepared herself, of course. All right, Uncle Chu, Wan Shun heard that you like tea sets, so he specially brought one for you. I also prepared something for Mom. It's bird's nest. Mom complained, oh, why bring gifts when you're coming home? But her hands naturally accepted the gifts. Uncle Chu put the gifts aside and said, you must be tired. Come sit down. I'll make tea for you later. She obediently agreed. Okay. Third step, help with the cooking. He's very thoughtful, isn't he? The two men in the house were busy in the kitchen. Uncle, is this okay? Uncle Chu replied, yes, I didn't expect young people nowadays to be so skilled. Hanju is usually busy with work, so I'm relieved to leave her to you. He responded, I usually try to make some simple meals for her. Suddenly, he asked, so, do you usually do the cooking, Uncle? I thought you had a housekeeper. He looked innocent, but also aware of the ways of these wealthy families. Uncle Chu laughed. Haha, we do have temporary help, but I still prefer to cook myself. I'm just a simple farmer. I don't fuss about those things. I just do what I can. The atmosphere suddenly fell silent, and he didn't say anything more. Uncle Chu, can I ask you a question? He hesitated. Uncle Chu calmly asked, what is it? He started to ask, don't you think? He stopped mid-sentence and went back to work. Forget it. Never mind. Uncle Chu circled him, making him feel uncomfortable. Oh, you're probably wondering if I feel pressured being with your aunt, or if I feel unworthy of her, right? Knowing he couldn't hide it, he admitted, yes. Uncle Chu laughed. Haha, it's okay. A lot of people are curious about this. Your aunt's previous marriage was indeed a good match, but it wasn't happy at all. Then she met me, although there were many conflicts and things that were hard to understand. But she would also laugh happily, smash things in anger, and break down crying in front of me. Just then, he held out his hand. Hello, I have a handkerchief. So I think it doesn't matter whether our social statuses are different. As long as she needs me, then I must be her best choice. He was silent, pondering Uncle Chu's words. Choice. Best. Huh, so what are you now? Is this that damn 2-meter-wide bed from romance novels? She was speechless, and he was a little stiff. What does Annie mean by this? He looked around. She said the guest room was being renovated, and this was the only room left. She explained as she tidied up, this was my room when I was little. He thought, pink. So girly. She was also embarrassed. Mom wants us to fool around, but it's weird to ask us to sleep in separate rooms now. Is she overthinking it? Is she worried I won't get married or something? She continued, anyway, the bed is big. There are 2 quilts. We can each sleep on one side. He suggested, actually, I can sleep on the floor. This suggestion was rejected. No, you've helped me so much. I'd feel bad making you sleep on the floor. She continued, I'm going to the bathroom to change into my pajamas. You should go too, okay? He replied, okay. After leaving the room, she stood silently for a moment. Oh my God, I've been holding on for so long. I'm exhausted. What's going on? Why do we have to sleep together? She felt ashamed. Is this too much? I'm always troubling Brother Wan Shun. This is like taking a fake scenario and making it real. She patted her face. My heart is beating so fast. What's wrong? Suddenly, she seemed to remember something. Wan Shun kept calling her Xiao Ju, Xiao Ju, Xiao Ju when he was little. I can't run anymore. His blood-covered foot suddenly tripped on something. He fell to the ground. Ouch. She turned around, Xiao Shun, and hurried to help him up. But the alarm just went off. They might have noticed he's gone. Let me bandage you up, and then we'll rest for a while before we go. He hurriedly wiped the wound. I'm sorry. It's all my fault, making Xiao Ju run away with me. She comforted him. It's okay. Places like hotels need IDs. We can't go there. I'll take you to hide at the school. While bandaging his wound, she said, I can share my meals and pocket money with Xiao Shun every day. Once this blows over, no one will care about this anymore. I will definitely save you. Back in reality, she was stunned by the memory. When those memories surfaced in her mind, she felt very confused. What was that just now? A strange impression suddenly appeared in my mind. The boy in hallucination looked a bit like Wan Shun. She frowned. They seemed like they were about to kiss. What's going on? Could it be that I've been too tired lately? On the pink bed, he dried his hair and walked out. Something immediately caught his eye. She was snoring below. He was speechless. Didn't we agree to sleep on the bed together? He sighed and called softly, Hanju. Hanju, come to bed. A sleepy voice answered him. Curled up in a blanket, she mumbled, sleepy. He looked at her, 3 parts exasperated, 7 parts doting, just like a child. He complained, but his heart was filled with worry. But what can I do now? You did this to yourself, rolling up like this. Now I have no choice but to carry you. After this action, she woke up instantly. Hey, she struggled hurriedly. Wan Shun, what are you doing? He quickly explained, just wanted you to sleep more comfortably. He tucked her in and patted her like a child. There. Then he lay down as naturally as if he were in his own home. Go to sleep. We have to get up early with Uncle Chu to go to the market tomorrow. How could she possibly fall asleep with him like this? She pulled the covers over her head to hide her racing heart, muttering to herself. She didn't even know what was wrong with her. What's wrong with me? My heart is beating so fast. These past few days, I haven't felt like myself. Is it because of that strange hallucination? Things like having a crush, they never had anything to do with me before. You underestimate me, sister. The next morning, birds chirped merrily in the trees. Wang gently answered her phone call, a little surprised. Oh, you're almost here. It's not impossible. If there's anything I can help with, I'll wait. Hanju overheard her mother's conversation and went out to ask Mom, are we having guests? Her mother didn't know how to bring it up. It's hard to explain right now. An old friend said they were very interested in the photo of Xiao Zhang in the article about your shop. This would be a good thing. Let's wait and see when they arrive. She thought a good thing. 15 minutes later, a black car stopped in front of her house. Mr. and Mrs. Zhang, the chairman and vice chairwoman of a biopharmaceutical group, hurried in. Hanjia, where is that child? Mrs. Zhang. Mrs. Zhang said anxiously, If we hadn't seen that article by chance, we really wouldn't have known that our long-lost son was still alive. Wang gently replied, yes, I did hear you mention this. She hurriedly led the two into the house. It was a child of about 7 years old, right? Your youngest son suddenly disappeared. Mrs. Zhang replied, yes, my mother was so worried she fell ill. Mrs. Zhang burst into tears. Why is fate so cruel to me? My youngest son disappeared, and my eldest son doesn't have much time left. Han Ju asked with concern, what's wrong with your eldest son? At this point, Mr. Zhang explained, suddenly, Quan Zi's health deteriorated. He might only have 2 years left. We don't want to struggle all our lives, only to have no one to inherit our lineage and no one to place our hopes on. So, as soon as we saw that photo that looked like Wan Shun, we rushed over here. Wang Jinli was also a little surprised. Wan Shun, could it really be such a coincidence? The man in the next room clenched his jaw when he heard this. He turned his face away, as if he didn't want to see them. Han Ju closed the door and asked, Wan Shun, could they be talking about you? Were you ever lost as a child? To prevent any mistaken identity, let's not go out for now. He covered his face and hummed in agreement. He remembered how the old lady would scream in terror. A monster, a monster. The Zhang family's wife gave birth to a monster. At that time, he, in his wolf form, could only howl. Do you believe it? Some people are destined to be a mistake from the moment they are born, and that person is Wan Shun. I was born into a good family, with a good mom and dad, and a good older brother. Mom always praised my brother, Xiao Yao, for being gifted, but I couldn't do anything right, because I was a monster. So one time while playing at home, I overheard Dad saying with a headache, what are we going to do? All the company's investments have failed. Naturally, Dad took me to a crowded place and told me, Xiao Shun, hold this ice cream and wait for me here, okay? I innocently replied, okay. And just like that, I was abandoned. I waited at the park entrance. When it rained, I found a place to take shelter. I waited and waited, watching people come and go, but Dad never showed up. Suddenly, a car drove up and stopped in front of me. The door opened, they grabbed me, and dragged me into the car. From then on, it was a series of nightmares. Fear flashed in my eyes, and a voice rang out. Han Ju asked with concern, are you okay? I curled up, my voice trembling. I can't go there. She was worried, although I've never asked about your family matters before. The Zhang family is very powerful in biomedicine. I was terrified, my eyes filled with despair. I have nothing to do with them. She was stunned, not understanding why I would say that. Standing under the silent sky, not knowing what to say, I turned away, avoiding her gaze. But she smiled and simply said, okay. Then, if you don't want to see them, we won't. She grabbed his hand. A smile spread across her face, helping him regain his composure. Let's go. We can jump out the window on the first floor and escape. In his eyes, there was only her. He remembered when they were young, how she risked everything to help him escape. We're surrounded by fire. We can't jump, she kept reminding him. But he had to get out of there, or he would be taken back to the lab, and all his efforts would be in vain. Her eyes filled with determination. She turned to him and said, I'll buy you some time. Wan Shun, take this opportunity and run. They definitely won't do anything to me. He wanted to grab her hand, but then let go. What if something happened? Before he could finish speaking, she suddenly ran off. His eyes were filled with despair and helplessness. He did as she said and turned to run. He suddenly stopped. She had noticed something. She turned around and said, Wanga, your hair seems to be growing back. He gritted his teeth. He knew what was happening. Transformation. He collapsed on the ground, gasping for air. She didn't know how to deal with this situation. She sat down and called him. Wanga, his body was trembling. Are you okay? A voice came from outside. Hanju, the sound of a door opening. Come out. Let Annie see how you children are doing. A voice called out, Hanju. The door clicked open. Come out quickly and let Annie see my babies. She felt uneasy, a pang of panic. Then her mother pushed the door open and walked in. Hanju, why aren't you answering? She froze. Where did she go? I told her to wait here. The wind howled through the window, and everyone understood the problem. In another apartment, she walked in with heavy steps. Luckily, Grandpa's parking space is in the back garden, so I could drive straight home. She felt a little uncomfortable. I didn't even have time to change my clothes. He followed behind her, watching her for a moment, but didn't know what to say. He softly said, Miss Han, you must have guessed what's going on, right? She asked back what. She changed into slippers and asked what Wan Shun meant by his true identity. Was he the Zhang family's bastard heir? She hadn't expected him to hide it so deeply. I thought it was a misunderstanding before. After all, recognizing someone through an art poster sounded a bit strange. He silently turned around, saying nothing. She looked at him and understood the situation. But now I can be sure. He finally spoke. If you knew all along, Why did you still help me? She found the question baffling. Who else would I help if not you? She looked away. Oh, right. If everyone successfully recognizes each other, then the Han family will have helped the Zhang family once, and it will be easier to cooperate in the future. She added an explanation afterward. But for me, of course, Wan Shun is more important, and I also want to ask Wan Shun to be my boyfriend. It wouldn't be good to make him angry. He didn't know what to say, just because of this. She scratched her head. Oh, if I'm talking about selfish motives, how should I explain this? He was confused. Selfish motives. She grabbed his hand and pulled him closer. She pushed him down. If you really take over the family business, you'll become very busy and won't have time to come see me anymore. She simply dropped the pretense and snuggled into his arms. But if I don't have this soft fur to touch in the future, I'll die. I'm already addicted. He panicked, not daring to use force, but still tried to push her away. Han, Miss Han, don't do that. He understands the problem. She really likes it when I turn into a wolf, and she enjoys it. No way. I finally turned back into a wolf. Let me sniff him. He screamed, don't sniff me. But actually, she had ulterior motives. Wan Shun probably doesn't realize I'm using sniffing him as an excuse to get close to him. She even asked herself, why am I secretly getting close to him? She stroked his soft fur. I can approach him openly now. She kept kneading him, his ears turning red. She hummed a tune, her eyes gazing at him adoringly. Oh, wait, he's from the Zhang Pharmaceutical Group. He's not short of money. She maintained her position on him and asked, speaking of which, can I be nosy and ask you something, Wan Shun? Why didn't I want to go home? She touched his face, and he lowered his head. He was silent for a long time before speaking. There's no particular reason. They abandoned me back then, and now they want me back just to continue the family line, not because they feel remorseful. She was startled. Abandoned. Before she could finish, a sharp pain shot through her head, and a voice echoed, I was brought here by my family, so I can't go back. Oh, it seems like it was because my dad's business had problems, and they could only use me for research in exchange for financial support. A blurry figure flashed through her memory. I don't know anything else. She held her head, overwhelmed by the thoughts. It seems like a memory just flashed through my mind. He continued, anyway, it's not worth mentioning, and I don't want to remember it anymore. He finally noticed her. Hanju, what's wrong? She forced a smile. Nothing, just feeling a little tired. She comforted herself. The hallucinations have happened more than once. It can't just be a coincidence, right? He avoided her gaze. Sorry for bothering you in my current state. She patted his chest. What's our relationship? We're steadfast, revolutionary comrades. She took the opportunity to pinch his cheeks. Come here, let me touch you. Suddenly, he grabbed her hand. I told you not to do that. She panicked, slightly disappointed. I may look like an animal, but I still have human feelings. She said flatly, oh, if you really feel uncomfortable, then I won't force you. But she still muttered softly, but I really like touching the fur on your chest. He hesitated slightly, then held her hand. He shouted like a big child, touch it. He surprised her. Don't force yourself. He still tried to suppress his embarrassment. I'm not forcing myself today. Thank you. If he wasn't embarrassed, then she was. She blushed a little, looked at him, and then tried to break the tension with a smile. You're welcome. You're welcome. But she still enjoyed it. I want barbecue for lunch. Can you make it? No matter how many times I deny it, it's no use. Just admit it. He replied softly, okay. Then he gently kissed her hair. I really like her. He replied softly, okay. Then gently kissed her hair. I think I really like her. He gently kissed her cheek. She was slightly startled. Just like that, waves arose without wind. After meeting with his family, life returned to its normal track. She continued her work, well, expanding its scope. He continued to invite her out. The Zhang family seemed to have given up on their obsession with finding an heir. Everything was as if it had never happened. Change Manor, still the same old shop, but the fact was 2 guys were standing at the entrance, welcoming guests. Welcome, as if nothing had happened. One of them stepped forward and asked, are you a new customer? Do you have a reservation? Mrs. Zhang hesitated and asked, I wonder if Wan Shun is available. He eagerly said, Brother Wan. He just stepped out. I'll get him. You go back to work. He said happily, oh, thank you for the trouble. He remained indifferent. It's nothing. The two met, and Mrs. Zhang's eyes welled up. He asked coldly, what are you doing here? She replied, as long as I keep searching, I'll find him someday. She looked up and asked Xiao Shun, how did you? He gestured. Shoo, this isn't the place to talk. Then he grabbed her hand and pulled her away. Come with me. He immediately turned and said, Xiang, get us a private room. Put on my tab. Mrs. Zhang was stunned. This. Xiang replied from the side. Okay, sir. Have fun. He judged silently to himself. Wow, that rich Annie looks almost as old as his mom. But he still hooked up with her. Welcome. He just got back. She stepped forward and asked, hello, I have an appointment with Wan Shun. The person hurriedly explained, Brother Wan just took a client. You might have to wait a moment. She was confused, but he said he was pretty free tonight. Xiang was also surprised. Isn't this the young, rich, big client that Brother One has been chasing? He chuckled. Yeah, Brother One is really something. He just ditched the big client and went into a private room with that old woman. Since that's the case, don't blame me for making a move. Xiang approached her. Hello, if you're bored waiting for Wan Shun, you can chat with me. It's free. She walked away coldly, uninterested. No, thank you. She took out her laptop and started working. I need to handle some work. He continued to chatter. That won't do. We don't allow our guests to be neglected. An elegant and beautiful guest like you is a million times better than the old woman Wan Shun just took in. He chuckled, thinking, if I can snag this guest, I'll become the top host. She caught his implication. Old woman. Tell me more. Sure, let me tell you. He went on and on, while she listened indifferently. He rambled, so I could better serve you. It's so nice chatting with you. He was somewhat smug, although he didn't directly say that Wan Shun serving other guests was better than serving her. The implication was clear. She turned away and sighed. Give me a bottle of champagne. He was overjoyed, thinking everything was going according to plan, that she was ordering the champagne because of him. He bowed in response. Miss Han, don't be too upset. I'll go order that for you right away. She opened her phone, finding him annoying. It was the message he had sent her earlier. Can you come over tonight? Wait a minute. Let me arrange things. Not many people are working today. I might be a little late. What do you want to eat tonight? She replied, we'll talk when we meet. As soon as the message was sent, he replied, sorry, I have something to deal with. Please wait for me. She glanced inside, thinking, what is he doing in the private room? Wasn't the reception thing already discovered? Xiang brought the champagne. Miss Han, your champagne. Anything else? Exasperated, she said through gritted teeth. Do I need to tell you to put the champagne down and leave immediately? Don't bother me. She added casually, thanks for your trouble. Embarrassed and flushed, he responded with a curt yes, cursing inwardly. Damn woman. 8:50 p.m., he turned and left. Then I'll be going. 9 p.m., she sat there drinking. 9:10 p.m., she was still working normally. She felt irritated. Why isn't Wan Shun finished yet? 10 p.m., she messaged, are you okay? 11:10 p.m., she saw no reply and yawned repeatedly. No reply. Should I leave a message and go back? She pondered, but Wan Shun told me to wait for him. She slammed the table, realizing something. This isn't right. I wouldn't normally be this obedient. I should have realized this was a waste of time or just rescheduled. She thought again. Could it be? She looked toward the door. Could Wan Shun and I? Suddenly, the door burst open. She saw him there. He said to Mrs. Zhang, all right, you can go back now. Mrs. Zhang wiped her tears. Okay. He added, be careful on your way. She froze. Wait, isn't that Mrs. Zhang? What's she doing here? She suddenly understood. Should I go say hello? But it's not appropriate to greet her in a place like this. So she shrank back. I'll just pretend I didn't see anything. Just sit here. However, he had already noticed her and walked over, calling out, Hanju, you've been going back and forth, catching my attention. I have a bad feeling. Why does this guy seem to be radiating murderous intent? Suddenly, he pulled me into his arms and whispered, thank you, although you probably have no idea what happened. I couldn't help but ask, why are you thanking me again? I think I just saw Mrs. Zhang. So the two of you, before I could finish, I noticed everyone around us staring at us in shock. I couldn't believe my eyes. No, this isn't the time to talk. I cupped his face and asked, what's wrong? Calm down. He remained silent. I finally stood up. Come outside with me. He remained seated while I walked towards the vending machine. The 2 drinks I bought clattered as they dropped. I walked over and handed him one here. Your favorite drink. He took it and asked, Miss Han, how did you know what I like? His face was full of question marks. Don't people usually assume those of us in this line of work prefer hard liquor, right? Hearing this, I was a little surprised. Isn't it obvious? You buy it sometimes. I suddenly froze. This isn't right. How can I know so easily what Wan Shun likes? But I can't remember anything about my previous blind dates. One of my previous blind dates complained, Hanju, I told you I don't like eating awful. I scratched my head. This shouldn't be surprising. I'm a little shaken. What am I shaken about? Then I suddenly became assertive, lifting his chin. On the contrary, you've been acting strange since you saw me today, playing those tricks while you're working. What if a client saw? That wouldn't be good for business, wouldn't it? His eyes started to water. I took a step back. Are you crying? He said no, but wiped his tears. No, I'm just a little touched. He lowered his head. Because I know, even if my parents abandoned me, Miss Han, you would be on my side. That's why I was able to stay calm and talk to my mom, and then I found out there was a misunderstanding. I sat down beside him. Misunderstanding? You mean Mrs. Zhang didn't actually abandon you? He nodded, and I breathed a sigh of relief. Ah, that's great. I took a sip of my drink. I knew it. Mrs. Zhang didn't seem like someone who would sell her own child for money. Otherwise, it would be just like those cliched rich family dramas. He glanced at me, then continued, aren't you curious? Since you were so eager to abandon your family before, how did I confirm the situation at home? She sighed. It's okay. Wang Yi will talk when he's ready. If Wang Yi isn't in a good state right now, I won't force him to go back even if I pressure him. But if this is a decision he made after careful consideration, then all I need to do is support him. When he accidentally falls into danger, that I'll face the danger with him. These words seemed to touch his heart. She smiled. Anyway, you have me. Even if Wang Jie doesn't want to stay at the Zhang family's house in the future, it's okay. He can come back anytime. He was silent for a long time then. But he gently reached out from behind her and hugged her tightly. Don't. You can't do this anymore. You'll spoil me. She hugged him back and patted him. Oh, then let me spoil you. Until you completely discover how boring I am. Let's just keep things as they are. He didn't quite agree, looking directly at her. Hanju isn't boring at all. He bit his lip, his words seemingly caught in his throat. He clenched his fists. Hanju, although I'm not qualified to say these words now, but, she became worried again. What do you want to say? At the crucial moment, he became uneasy again. What am I saying? Don't get excited. A coward like me, who betrayed her, how can I have the face to confess? He trembled all over. She was used to it, so she guessed. Was Wangu not transforming again? He panted. If Hanju knew everything that happened in the past, if she knew everything, she held him, trying to comfort him. Wang Yi, you can relax a bit. The constantly emerging smoke made her cough slightly. Why is it smoke this time? She pushed him away and shouted, Wan Ji. She felt something was wrong and turned her head. Surprise. A child hugged her. What? She was dumbfounded. How come there's suddenly another person? She turned to ask Wan Shun, who is this child? He only then noticed. Huh. The child let go of her hand and whispered Xiao Ju. She felt that this child looked familiar. He looked a lot like him. Could it be that Wan Shun had transformed into his childhood self? Suddenly, child Wan Shun ran off. She hurriedly shouted, hey, that child ran away. Don't let anything happen to him. She pulled Wan Shun. Hurry up. Let's go after him. He gritted his teeth. How could a transformation I've never experienced before occur? And it's even my childhood self. The traffic light quickly turned red. Got you. Don't run. We won't hurt you. Speaking of which, she had been athletic since childhood and could climb walls. Little Wan Shun pushed her hand away. Xiao Ju, let me go. You won't like me anymore. Not ever. She was surprised for the second time, and he was surprised too. She asked back, what are you talking about? Her heart was full of questions. Wasn't this child Wan Shun's alter ego? What was he trying to say? Little Wan Shun shook his head desperately. Xiao Ju, I'm sorry, but I'm too scared. I'm sorry. As he was speaking, Wan Shun walked behind him and knocked him unconscious. She quickly supported the child. Wan Shun, what are you doing? Why did you suddenly hit him? His face was cold as an ice prince. I couldn't control him. I could only do this. Let's go back first. She also realized something. He was a little strange. The light turned green. The flashing traffic lights were like a desperate escape, and the one escaping was the young Wan Shun. He was panting as if exhausted, only knowing to keep running, and just like that, he ran away. After leaving all the danger to Xiao Ju, he stopped. He actually ran away. He wiped his tears and said to himself, no, taking away the experimental subject is definitely not a small matter. Xiao Ju will definitely be punished for this. With that, he turned around. He had to go back to find her, to take her away with him. He had always thought that even if he was weak, there would definitely be a time when he could protect Hanju. He had always believed this, until a chaotic scene appeared before him. Han Jing, Hanju's father, had grabbed her. Hanju, this is the trouble you've caused. At this moment, little Wan Shun suddenly opened his eyes and woke up. He gasped. She just started to speak. You're awake. Does it hurt anywhere? He sat up warily, then froze. She waved her hand. Wang Shun, you're Zhang Wang Shun, right? Why are you spacing out like that? He seemed to come back to his senses, startled. I wasn't spacing out. It's just, Xiao Ju clearly already hates me, has already forgotten me. So why is she suddenly so nice to me? She was puzzled. I didn't quite understand what Wan Shun wanted to say, but I knew he must have his own worries and thoughts. I comforted him, so please don't worry, and tell me what you want to say little by little, okay? His eyes reddened, and he remained silent for a moment, tears welling up. Xiaoju, we used to. He was interrupted mid-sentence by Wan Shun's older brother, who suddenly walked in. Wan Shun, what's wrong with you today? He looked coldly at the small child on the bed. Since you're awake, come out and eat. The atmosphere at the dinner table was gloomy and suffocating. I couldn't even swallow my food. What was with this strange atmosphere? Wan Shun seemed to be channeling his younger self, but it was also so cute, as if Wan Shun had just given birth to a child. Cute, cute, so precious. Whoa, calm down, no. Why am I starting to have these wild thoughts? Whether he has children or not is none of my business. I've been too distracted lately. I need to pull myself together. But what if one day he suddenly calls my name, Hanju, and says he has a girlfriend and introduces her to me? I've found my other half, so I can't be with you anymore. Let's terminate our contract. I suddenly flinched, my heart skipping a beat. Ugh. I put my hand on my chest. My heart suddenly ached. What was going on? Little Wan Shun picked up a piece of meat and called out to me, Xiaoju. At the same time, he also picked up some food for me, Hanju. Their loving gazes met. Big Wan Shun warned little Wan Shun again. Kid, you don't even know what Hanju likes to eat. She doesn't like meat. Little Wan Shun retorted, meat is delicious. Xiaoju deserves the best. At this point, I had no choice but to accept both and eat them all, both the meat and the vegetables. I was also a little panicked. What was with this thick smell of gunpowder? I said while eating, Wan Shun, just indulge him. This form is very rare. You might not see it tomorrow. These words were like a blow to little Wan Shun. He took a sip of water, lost in thought. That's right. The transformations caused by Hanju usually end quickly. The little guy at the table tugged on my sleeve, little Wan Shun's eyes sparkling. Hey, Xiaoju, can I really stay? Who could resist that look? I couldn't either. I hugged the little guy. I'm sorry. Xiao Shun can certainly stay. It was my mistake. I thought to myself, even if this was just Wan Shun's transformation, he still had the complete thoughts of his childhood. He was clearly worried, but he didn't say it directly. I suggested, how about this? Xiao Shun can sleep with me tonight. Come sleep in my room. Someone managed to squeeze out a smile. The clock pointed to 11:50 p.m. Late at night, Xiao Shun rubbed his eyes. I'm so sleepy. Is Xiaoju asleep yet? You go to sleep first. Okay, I'm going to sleep too. Xiao Shun, go to sleep first. The little guy obediently replied, okay. I took off my face mask. Wait for me. I'm going to wash my face. As soon as I finished speaking, the door was suddenly pushed open. I was a little surprised. Wan Shun's brother, what are you doing so late? What a shame. He declared, I'm sleeping here tonight too. I was startled. What? No. Wan Shun's brother, we have so many guest rooms. Why squeeze in here? He just snorted. He glanced at the little guy beside me. Then he should have his own room too. Little Shun retorted, you just don't like me, do you? I'll be just as excellent in the future, and I hate you too. The scene was chaotic. I thought, is this glitching? What's going on? I had to stop these two first. Wait, aren't you both Wan Shun? Stop arguing. I realized something. It seemed this child knew something Wan Shun's brother didn't want me to know. Little Shun was still arguing fiercely. I was already scared, and I wanted to run away, but what about you? What have you been doing all these years? Have you apologized to Xiaoju? Big Wan Shun was speechless. The child had hit a nerve. I was stunned again. What were they talking about? Apologize. Wan Shun had been acting strange lately, especially after seeing Mrs. Zhang. He smacked his lips, thinking, I don't want her to know about this, so I can't let them sleep separately. Big Wan Shun grabbed the little guy by the collar. Come here right now. Little Shun struggled. Let go. I finally intervened, grabbing one by the head and the other by the collar. All right. I dragged them both inside. Argue amongst yourselves? I can't control it at all. Since that's the case, we'll just have to sleep together. There won't be any more problems this time, right? I turned off the light. Good night. I probably wouldn't be able to sleep well tonight. Fortunately, the bed was wide enough. But it seemed that two people were not very willing to accept this outcome. The two exchanged indescribable looks. Little Shun was snuggling up against me. Someone was jealous of himself. He leaned closer and said, if you're shy, you might as well go live in the mountains with the monkeys. Forget it. Don't be angry. Just like Hanju said, my younger self might disappear tomorrow. Don't worry. He closed his eyes gently. I'm sorry. Hanju, I lied to you about what happened before. Recalling their previous conversation, it was a misunderstanding, so Mrs. Zhang didn't abandon him. What are you saying? It was a misunderstanding. Impossible. The scene he overheard replayed in his mind. What do we do now? The company's investment chain is completely broken. Although your mother didn't know anything, your father really did it. He wanted to sell you to someone else, but your mother found out later, and he regretted it. Mrs. Zhang said in the room, Mother was so foolish back then, it took her 2 years to find out her son was sold to that kind of place. After that, Mother had a huge fight with your father, and then she found out he already regretted it and was prepared to bring you back even if the company went bankrupt. But by the time your parents found your location, they learned that you had already run away and disappeared. She wiped away her tears. Your parents have been looking for you all these years, but they still haven't given up. Mother doesn't expect you to forgive her. She just hopes you're doing well. If you don't want to come back, then your parents will use the rest of their time to make up for lost time. He listened to her silently, then asked, What about the research institute? Mrs. Zhang said, Are you talking about that old orphanage? It was already abandoned when your parents went there. Your father signed a contract he shouldn't have. So until the very end, your parents could only rely on themselves to search for you. I understand. Just as he wanted to say more, Mrs. Zhang continued, reaching out to touch him, but now your parents don't care about your physical condition anymore, as long as Wan Shun is healthy. Your parents know it hasn't been easy for you to make a living all these years, and to have to work in a place like this. If it weren't for Han, before she could finish, he abruptly withdrew his hand. She was heartbroken. I'm sorry. Mother just hopes she can treat you better. She hesitated, thinking that if Xiaoshan hadn't left, he might be living well with the Han family's daughter now, maybe even owning his own company. He remained silent, lost in thought. Living with Hanju, could that be okay? The clock showed 1 a.m., but he couldn't fall asleep. How ironic. I'm actually considering going back because of the phrase living with Hanju could be okay. Even if all the apologies and reasons are ridiculously far-fetched, that sentence isn't wrong. The distance between me and Hanju now is too great. I can't apologize to her on equal footing. To be with her, he leaned close to her neck, whispering words of love, then gently sucked as if leaving his mark. Even if I retell everything from the past, it won't feel real to someone like her without memories. She would probably forgive me easily, but that would be like taking advantage of her weakness. What is this? Practice makes perfect, he muttered. Hanju, please wait for me. Saying this, he gently kissed her lips. One light kiss probably wasn't enough. Wait for me to take a few more steps. Wait for me to catch up to you. I will. Then he kissed her deeply. This kiss probably contained too much for him. Then he left those lips, watching the little dumpling nuzzle, and let out a small. He panicked a little. His heart was pounding, and his face flushed. How careless. I kissed her without controlling myself. But thankfully, Hanju is already fast asleep, he thought as he gently pulled the blanket over her. But his hand must have been trembling badly. He whispered, I'm sorry, and turned his face away. Good night. He overestimated himself. She had just sprayed some hairspray. What was going on? His small actions had kept her awake, but now this was a big one. What did Wan Shun just do? She covered her face. Why kiss me and say those things to me like little Wan Shun did tonight, apologizing? She turned her head and saw his face was a little red, but he was probably already snoring. Could it be that I'm really overthinking it? And with a child involved, could Wan Shun actually like me? Thinking about these things, she couldn't sleep all night. A sleepless night. What an unusual night, huh? Early the next morning. He's been sulking since earlier, and he's still not over it. That little guy is not easy to deal with either. Do they really want to fight? She interjected, Hey, you two are glaring at each other again. Come out. Wanda made steamed dumplings. It's a day off, and since everyone's here, let's go out and have some fun. He looked up. Fun. She nodded, but then remembered last night. Hey, I think Wan Shun likes me. I also seem to like him a little. Like, but that's impossible, right? I usually act like I'm not interested in that kind of thing. She stepped forward and said, if we're taking the kid, that place is actually pretty good. He also became curious, seeing this as a chance to finally sort out his feelings at a dating hotspot. So, the three of them went to the amusement park. She cheered. When I was little, I could only come here during the Lunar New Year. This brings back memories, she said, noticing little Wan Shun seemed a bit down. What's wrong? Don't you like the amusement park? Why aren't you excited like the other kids? He quickly replied, no, it's not that. Before he could finish, Wan Shun cut in, it's nothing. It's just that I was abandoned outside an amusement park when I was little. I've never told anyone, so you wouldn't know. She blurted out, so you have a complex about it. Should we go somewhere else? He then walked straight to the ticket booth, bought 2 adult tickets and 1 child ticket, and then refused her offer. It's okay. What needs to be faced will eventually have to be faced. Maybe after this obsession disappears, this child will instantly become enlightened. She was about to lose it. Don't talk about your past self like that. The ticket seller smiled and said, here's your family ticket. He didn't deny it, just replied, thank you. Even the ticket seller thought this family was cute. The dad looks so young, and the son is super cute. Everyone's the same, They all like handsome guys. He reminded himself to restrain himself. Let's just consider this as closure for my past. He lowered his eyes and said, let's go. The fragile Zhang Wan Shun, who only knew how to run away when faced with difficulties, was gone. He looked at her and asked his past self, can you really have fun here? Won't you be sad? He obediently replied, yes, as long as I'm with Xiao Ju, it's okay. When I can stand shoulder to shoulder with you, it will be my turn to pursue you. Little Wan Shun suggested, I want to ride the Ferris wheel with Xiao Ju. She agreed, a little puzzled. Okay, sure, but why the Ferris wheel? She didn't think much of it. Did he like that kind of ride? He blushed slightly. Well, I heard that if you kiss at the top of the Ferris wheel, you'll never be apart. This is the legend of the Ferris wheel kiss. Wan Shun's face darkened behind them. He immediately stepped forward and grabbed her hand. Hanju, don't mind him. He doesn't know anything. He pulled her away, but she managed to grab little Wan Shun's hand. Hey, wait, he's just a kid. She prayed silently. Don't flirt so blatantly using a child's body. I'll misunderstand. But strangely, the three of them walked hand in hand. It was so strange. She felt like everything was so unreal. All of Wan Shun and little Wan Shun's actions were strongly proving something. Like, does he like me or something? Is it common for everyone to ride the roller coaster as their first ride? Oh my god, do I also like Wan Shun? It seems my intuition was right. To hell with my image. I almost threw up my guts. She and little Wan Shun had so much fun that he just let out a small grunt. Although I don't quite understand love, what that emotion that seems to only exist in literary works is, and I don't have any relevant experience, the feeling of being with Wan Shun is completely different from those blind dates. She handed him some water, which he took like a lifeline. Thank you, he said. Then she turned to the man beside her and scooped a spoonful of ice cream, feeling nostalgic because he hadn't had ice cream since he joined the research institute. Strangely, it was a comforting and relaxing feeling, like meeting a friend of many years. By the way, who is that girl sitting behind us? That man is so handsome. Does he already have a child? It's been a while. I think I've also had the illusion of having seen Wan Shun before, but obviously I couldn't have. My sixth sense is tingling. There must be something fishy going on. I have to find a chance to get to the bottom of this. This little family seemed to have stopped for a break. She saw him go to buy something and thought, this is my chance. Wan Shun went to order. It seems he's hiding something from me. It's time to have a private chat with this child. Before she could speak, little Wan Shun saw right through her. Xiao Ju, just say what you want to say. I'll answer. She was also surprised. How did you know? He replied, back then, whenever Xiao Ju wanted to ask something uncomfortable, she would look like this. He had never forgotten what she looked like. She was extra careful because she cared too much about his feelings. She didn't expect him to understand her so well. She seemed to realize something. Also, is it because you and Wan Shun share memories that you recognized me, and we really did meet when we were young? He lowered his head. Yes, although my future self likes Xiao Ju too much and doesn't want to leave any bad impression in front of Xiao Ju, I always stop myself from telling the truth. He looked up, but I still want to tell Xiao Ju. Xiao Ju won't be angry with me, right? She thought, why would I be angry? But his previous words really touched her. What did he mean by, although my future self likes Xiao Ju too much? She held out her pinky finger. Okay, it's a deal. I promise not to be angry. Pinky swear. Seeing this gesture, he felt nostalgic. Pinky swear. This brings back memories. We used to do this too, promising to never stop caring for each other. It's just. He suddenly stopped. I ended up abandoning Xiao Ju when she was in danger and ran away alone. Hearing this, she was shocked. Thoughts flashed through her mind. Her father angrily grabbed her head. Hanju, tell me, where did you hide that experimental subject? She firmly denied, I don't know about any experimental subject. Stunned by the words she heard, a memory flashed through her mind. Her father gripping her head furiously. Hanju, tell me, where did you hide the test subject? She vehemently denied, I don't know anything about a test subject. He roared, how could you not know? You're the one who let him go. Otherwise, how would the first aid kit from the house end up in the lab? She gritted her teeth, Dad, I don't know. He slapped her hard. Hanju, don't think I won't dare to do anything to you just because you're my daughter. The slap stunned her. He watched helplessly. Her father continued to yell, do you know how valuable that experiment is? If it were fully researched, it would absolutely change the world. As he spoke, he grabbed her head again. He slammed her head against the floor. But without that child, the entire project is ruined. Do you know how much we've lost? He just stood there, watching her being tortured. Tell me. His legs felt like lead. Only sobs remained. Tears fell as he watched her in such pain. Xiaoju looked so hurt. I have to save her. But what can I do even if I rush out? If I'm caught and brought back to the lab, wouldn't that just prove she helped me escape? But if I go back, Xiaoju won't have to suffer anymore, right? Her father still wouldn't let her go, pressing her word by word. Tell me. She weakly replied, I don't know. He seemed to sense something and glanced over. Having just arrived, the familiar figure met her eyes. Why was he back? Seeing her silence, he slammed her head down again. Damn it, how could I have such a stubborn child? She lifted her head, her lips moving rapidly. She mouthed the words, Xiao Shun, run. Seeing this, his heart shattered. He froze, only sobs escaping him. Then he turned and ran. The later regret, what am I doing? I know I shouldn't run. I promised I wouldn't abandon her. She lay there. It seemed they had gone to find him. She gave a satisfied smile, seemingly content. A loud call brought her back to reality. Han Yu. He gently shook her. Hanju, are you okay? You suddenly stopped moving. She came to her senses. Little Wan Shun next to her spoke up. Huh? Is Sister Hanju angry? She had just called him Mr. Wan. He asked worriedly, are you feeling unwell? Should I call a doctor? She quickly stopped him. No, I'm fine. It's probably low blood pressure. I'll be fine after eating something. He still felt like he was being lied to and confirmed again. Really? She affirmed. Really? She quickly pulled Xiao Shun over. Xiao Shun, you eat too. She was in a daze. Was that a memory from before I lost my memory? I don't clearly remember my dad hitting me, but I saw Xiao Shun. She walked over with a burger. Here, a crown-wearing prince burger. He didn't pay attention to that. Huh, is Xiao Shun not angry anymore? She casually tore a piece of cotton candy from the cup. Why would I be angry? Okay, let's enjoy this meal and then continue playing. She pondered. Speaking of which, I did have an accident when I was in my teens, but I can't quite remember what happened. I asked my mom later, and she always stammered, only saying that I accidentally bumped into something myself. She handed something to him. Mr. Wan, you try some too. After that, her parents quickly divorced. Her mother held her. He doesn't deserve to be a father. From now on, Hanju will live with mom. Okay. Could all of this be related to the memory that just flashed through her mind? He looked at the cotton candy she offered. He didn't take it, but instead, like someone love-struck, grabbed her hand and took a bite of the cotton candy, eating it with relish. Does he have to be so handsome even when eating? My heart is racing. Not satisfied, he even licked her hand clean. She panicked. Mr. Wan, this is a bit too intimate, like a real boyfriend. But what shocked her even more was that her heart had been racing for a long time. Could she really be falling for him? At night, the amusement park was brightly lit, a meeting place for many people with dreams. It's getting dark. Visitors, please watch your step. She followed along. Only the Ferris wheel is left. Xiao Shun was very happy. Yay, today was so much fun. I haven't had enough yet. She nodded. I'm glad you had fun. She asked if Xiao Shun would like to come back again in a few days. He immediately liked the idea. Really? She replied, of course. She turned to him. Mr. Wan, will you come too? She thought to herself, although I don't know why I lost my memory from childhood, being with Mr. Wan is the same, right? He listened silently as she asked, then responded with a hum. Wherever Hanju wants to go, I'll definitely go with her. He said this with a romantic air. Her heart fluttered again. She said, oh, and looked away. Speaking of which, if he likes me, why doesn't he show any intention of confessing, but instead hides it? Could it be because of that accident? Little Wan Shun was excited. So high. Seeing him like this, she felt happy too. All the scenery was within sight. She noticed his behavior. Mr. Wan, why aren't you saying anything? Hearing this, he replied, no, it's just that all of this feels so unreal. It's too wonderful. Her response was a bit much, so she asked again, isn't this a good thing? He denied it. No, it's good, but it's precisely because it's so good that it feels unreal. It's like the next second you'll tell me it's all just a dream. The me in the past wasn't qualified to be by Hanju's side, because no matter how much I try to convince myself otherwise, deep down in my dusty heart, I knew the truth. When Hanju's father beat her until her head was bloody, I felt extreme panic. In other words, I ran away not for the bigger picture, but because I was scared. It was terrifying. I thought I could escape the danger and quietly go back to find Xiao Ju and apologize to her. He curled up, shivering. No, if I go back now, I'll be discovered. I'll definitely be treated even more cruelly. But fear made me hesitate. He choked back sobs, blaming himself. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Was Xiao Ju badly hurt? I miss her so much. When he finally resolved to go back and find her, he discovered that the address he was given was empty. I couldn't find her anymore. I regretted it to death, but I could only endure it, powerless. utterly despairing. From then on, Hanju became the buried, untouchable sunshine and best friend in my heart. Empty. A strong jolt suddenly woke him up. He looked around. Why are all the lights off? The Ferris will suddenly stop. People gradually panicked. It's so dark. What happened? Did something go wrong? She held little Wan Shun tightly, while he immediately stood up, shouting, Hanju. Outside were the screams of other people. Help! What's going on? Where are the staff? She tried to steady herself. The Ferris wheel seems to have malfunctioned. I've seen news reports about this before. It might not be too serious. As soon as she finished speaking, the Ferris wheel shook violently, and she and little Wan Shun lost their balance and fell. He reacted faster and quickly supported her. She looked up and shouted, Mr. Wan. He cushioned our fall. She became worried. Mr. Wan, are you okay? Get up. It's probably a power outage on the Ferris wheel coupled with uneven weight distribution in the cabin. That's why this happened, he replied, rubbing his head. I'm fine. He looked around. Are we in danger? At this moment, little Wan Shun began to sob. She didn't know either. It's hard to say. If the cabin doesn't detach, it might be okay, but after an equipment malfunction, who knows what will happen? And we're almost at the top. Cries for help came from outside. Help! Help! Let us down. This is so scary. Wow. Please don't panic, everyone. The machine is being repaired. We've already called 911. Another jolt, and he shielded her again. Little Wan Shun cried, Wah, are we gonna die? Xiao Shun just saw Xiao Ju. I don't want to die. She quickly comforted him. Don't say that. We'll be fine. She took out her phone and immediately contacted rescue services. She worried that the family helicopter was parked too far away. Even if it took off immediately, it would still take several hours, and by then the fire trucks would have already arrived. Little Wan Shun silently clutched her clothes, trembling. He finally spoke. I don't want Xiao Ju to die. She comforted him again. I told you we won't. He wiped his tears. I will absolutely not run away a second time. As he said this, he leaned forward and kissed her. At that moment, fireworks began to explode, and she stared wide-eyed in surprise. He silently stood up. At this moment, he seemed to understand why this transformation separated him from his younger self. He and the cowardly, timid Zhang Wan Shun of the past were completely different. He didn't choose to hide, but stood there calmly. You little guy are pretty smooth. I'm not trying to be a pervert. Just a little stimulation can force a mutation. His body gradually began to mutate as he expressed his love for Hanju. She froze. What are you trying to do? Seeing him like this, she became worried. Why does this feel familiar? He smiled from the bottom of his heart. Although I can't transform into all forms like my future self yet, as long as I get bigger, I can completely envelop Xiao Ju. He hoped his past self could have done the same. He puffed out his chest. This way, even if we fall, I can protect Big Sister. He didn't expect the boy to say such a thing, and she was equally surprised. He understood everything. It turned out that this boy had done what he himself had always regretted not doing. Thinking of this, he gave a slight smile. Then, he took her hand and helped her up. Han Yu. So he understood everything. It was this boy who had done what he had always regretted. He'd carried that regret until now. Thinking of this, he smiled gently. Then, he took her hand and helped her up. Hanju, he wasn't competing. He completely won in this romantic atmosphere. He even kissed her. It was clearly a sneak attack by two people, yet it felt like it was just one. Little Wan Shun saw this unexpected scene. He immediately smiled happily. Then his body gradually faded and disappeared. She watched him disappear in surprise. The child was gone. She asked him, Mr. Wan, little Wan Shun. Before she could finish, he comforted her. It's okay. As long as there's another transformation, the previous one will disappear. She looked at him. Mr. Wan's body was glowing. He hummed in agreement. I used to think the transformations stemmed from pressure and stimulation, completely uncontrollable, so they needed to be reduced weekly. They could also happen earlier or be shorter due to emotional instability. She was a little dizzy listening to him. Isn't that how it is? Before he could explain further, she quickly pulled him down. No. The explanation can wait. You're glowing now. The other trapped people will notice us. He comforted her. It's okay. He lowered his hand. The carousel will restart soon. She widened her eyes. What's this? Electrical sparks scattered around them. The entire carousel lit up. It seemed there was power now. She looked at the empty shirt, Mr. Wan. He explained, don't worry. I've just transformed into an electrical current. As long as I connect the initially broken circuit, the carousel can continue running. She hadn't expected him to be so capable. Huh. So you can transform like this too? That's amazing. Next time you'll probably turn into Superman and save the Earth. It seems everyone has landed safely. Wow, that was scary. We're very sorry. Please come this way. All the trapped people had been evacuated, and they began to cut off the power for repairs. She sat alone on a stone bench. A footstep made her look up. She knew it was him. Mr. Wan, you're back. She immediately stood up. Are you tired? There's water here. After all, my consciousness was scattered in the machine. He called her name again. Hanju. I like you. Words he had buried for a long time were finally spoken. So many things had surprised her today. He fainted from exhaustion as soon as he finished speaking, but he still knew what he had just done. What am I saying? I shouldn't have said that. She supported him, calling out Mr. Wan. But he suddenly felt that facing her at this moment, with the fireworks blooming, it was time to say it. He seemed to have walked over and called out, Xiao Ju, I've come back for you. He suddenly opened his eyes. It had all been a dream. He sat up abruptly. The first thing he did was call her name, Hanju. Mrs. Zhang beside him supported him. Wan Shun, you're awake. He held his head, seemingly dizzy from sitting up too quickly. He turned to ask his mother, where am I? She explained, this is a private hospital. It's safe. You can rest assured. Yesterday you and Xiao Han went out to play, and you suddenly fainted, so she brought you here. There's nothing seriously wrong with you. It's mainly because you were too tired, so you fell into a coma. Xiao Han took care of you for a whole day and night, and I only just sent her home to rest. He got out of bed, lending my phone. She quickly stopped him. Hey, don't. Xiao Han is probably still sleeping. Don't disturb her. Hearing this, he calmed down and hummed in agreement. But that didn't mean he was willing to lie down and rest. Then I'll go find her. Mrs. Zhang quickly stopped him again. You child, you've only just woken up. She wanted to hold his arm, but stopped. Although she wanted to stop him, this mother, who had been absent for most of his life, had no right to ask him to do anything. He was silent. She continued, Xiaochun, are you sure you like that Han girl? She's several years older than you. With your current conditions, you can find someone better. He didn't rush to speak, but turn around. But he was very firm in his decision. If it's not her, then no one. Morning, downstairs in the familiar building. The way she tossed and turned in this bed was so familiar. In her dream, she seemed to remember her father's past words and actions towards her. Don't think I won't hit you just because you're my daughter. She stubbornly refused to speak. I don't know. So, her father slammed her head hard against the floor. Her brows furrowed. She was in critical condition and rushed to the emergency room. Quick, quick, doctor, you must save her. In reality, the emergency room door slammed shut. Her bedroom door suddenly opened. Who else could it be? After being rescued, she innocently asked her mother, what happened to me? I think I saw Dad, but I can't remember. Her mother hugged her. It's okay now, Hanju. Don't remember anything about your father. He doesn't deserve to be your father. She turned over. He was already standing in her room, watching her. He placed his clothes neatly on the table. He tucked her in so she wouldn't catch a cold. Fragments of memories returned. Her mother's gentle voice coaxing her. Hanju, even though your dad and I are divorced, my love for you hasn't changed. Let's start over somewhere new. You'll make new friends. She looked up and replied, and Mom, I just feel like I've forgotten something after hitting my head. He naturally slipped off his slippers and climbed into bed. And it's something really important. And that important something was lying right next to her. The sun was high in the sky. The food on the stove bubbling away, emitting a tempting aroma. She sniffed the air, awakening to the enticing smell. Someone's cooking. Is it Uncle Zhang? But isn't he still in the hospital? She peeked out, and, sure enough, he had recovered and had come all the way here. Remembering his words, he likes me, she felt a thrill of joy. Come to think of it, he seems to have confessed to me before. I heard it clearly. She tiptoed over. Does this mean our feelings are mutual? Should I surprise him? She was a woman of action. After a moment of deep thought, she channeled her inner CEO. She gently reached out and called his name, Wan Shun. She hugged him tightly. Mr. Wan, shouldn't you be resting? Are you being naughty? As expected, he blushed, startled. Hanju. He turned his head. You're awake. Don't mess around. I'm cooking. Hearing this, she became even more playful. What's wrong with a little fun between a couple? Please continue, Mr. Wan. He panicked. I thought our roles were reversed. What do you mean a couple? She giggled. Was he really that clueless, or was he pretending? She playfully patted his bottom. Mr. Wan, you secretly kissed me, licked me, and confessed to me. If you say it was all a hallucination, you're too good at acting. He felt a shiver run down his spine. Kissed, licked. No, I didn't do that. Your hands are wandering, oh, so you admit it. He mumbled in agreement, his mind a jumble. Hands. He turned his face away and hummed again. Blushing, he called her name, Hanju. Shyly, but with newfound courage, he turned back and said, "I like you." She, who had been so boisterous just moments before, instantly quieted down, then replied with a smile, "Okay." A wave of emotion washed over her. "I like Mr. Wan too, so from now on, we're a couple." He pondered the word couple, a distant concept. Then she whispered in his ear, "It's that simple." He began, "Hanju, after I regained my childhood memories, I realized what that child said to you before. Do you really not mind that I betrayed you?" She didn't understand what he was talking about. Betrayal. In the middle of a romantic moment. "Huh, betrayal," she said. "Are you talking about when that jerk, my dad, hit you?" He paused, surprised. "You remember?" She nodded. "Yeah, I remember a lot of things, including when you turned into a dog and stayed with me." He couldn't believe his ears. Her memory had returned. His body began to change. "Then why is she acting so normal around me?" He covered his face. "She even said she likes me. She's way too used to this, huh?" He was turning into a dog. She grabbed his hand. "I'm completely used to this now. I know you're okay, but do you want to sit down for a bit?" But unlike what she expected, he burst into tears. She stared at him in surprise. "Mr. Wan, why are you crying so much?" She was confused. He usually had no expression. He tried to hold back. "It's nothing. I'll be fine soon." She smiled gently and moved closer to him. "Mr. Wan, do you think that the younger me resented you for running away alone?" He admitted yes. "When I finally went back to find you, the place we promised to meet was abandoned. Hanju helped me so much, she even saved my life, but I almost ruined her family. It's normal for her to hate me." Her father's words echoed in his ears. "I don't have an ungrateful daughter like you. When we met again, you were the bright moon in the sky, and I was the fermenting mud in a dark corner, an existence I didn't dare to tarnish. If it weren't for that accident, we wouldn't have had much interaction." She stood there, quietly watching him. Suddenly, she straddled him. Her voice was seductive. "Does Mr. Wan still feel that way now?" He was silent, then nodded. He didn't understand why Hanju liked him. He couldn't do anything for her and only cause trouble. She comforted him. "Hey, Mr. Wan, you've done a lot for me." Now shamelessly nuzzling against him. "You filmed a commercial for me, cooked for me, and when I was sad and stressed, you knew how to encourage me, guide me, deal with my mom with me, and the housework." He interrupted, "But those are just small things." He took her hand. "Compared to what you've done for me, this is nothing." She explained, "It's different. Didn't I tell you? When I was little, I always felt constrained. Of course, it might have seemed fake to others, but that's how I truly felt." That feeling came to her one day when she cracked open the door and overheard her parents talking. "When Hanju gets a little older, we'll send her to Wang Jialin. Where else can she go? Han Xin has a dog eating your conscience. That's your own daughter. Because you were by my side, I was able to persevere. I finally felt, so Hanju is worthy of being liked by someone." He deflected again. "But you saved me. You're clinging to that, huh? Well, I did save you. But I also saved you, so we're even." She kissed him softly. That sound was damn seductive. Come on, who could resist? He blushed furiously, fidgeting. "Even so, I still feel like I haven't done enough." But little Ju had approached him once when they were children. "Hey, Xiaochun, you know, the book says that relationships between people are kind of like walking together." He was confused. "Walking?" She opened the book. "Yeah, like if the distance between two people is 100 meters, then you have to take more than 100 steps to get closer. It's a process that requires effort from both sides. I take a step, you take a step, and the distance becomes 98 meters. If you take a few more steps, the distance will get shorter and shorter, and people will become closer." He hummed in agreement. "As long as two people are close enough, so they don't feel the distance, then they can entrust their true feelings to each other." He nodded. "I think I understand." He seemed to have a realization. "Oh." He stood up. "Then I'll run." She was puzzled. "Huh. If it's really like the book says, as long as I run hard, I can quickly become close to Xiaoju, right? I want to be close to Xiaoju." Back in the present, he pushed her away. "I want to take that step. I promised the person I liked that I would run to her." She didn't understand. "Huh, what's wrong?" But because he felt insecure and didn't want to bother her, he stayed put. He replied, "Nothing. I want to be your boyfriend. Please let me be Miss Han's boyfriend." He kissed her back. "But even though I've already taken 99 steps towards you." His body began to gradually transform. "Back then, what reason do I have to be afraid anymore? When the distance between two people is close enough, I will be the one to take the last step." "Then what about this last step?" "It's that I got her, just like I promised and yearned for back then." They stopped at a familiar place. "Welcome back." He was stunned. "This is where we used to..." This was the tree where he and she had promised to meet every day when they were children. She explained, yeah, after the research institute was abandoned, this place was converted into a park, but the tree that represents our meeting was preserved. You probably never came back here, huh? He looked at her and hummed in agreement. He took her hand. After leaving this place, I never thought I'd come back. Hearing this, she asked because it wasn't entirely happy memories. He led her away. No, those memories are very beautiful, unbelievably beautiful. They sustained us for more than 10 years. He stopped. That's why I was able to wait for you again. Hanju, thank you. Although I still worry about this and that, I won't let go again. He gripped her hand tightly. Even if you regret it and want to leave, I won't let go. She smiled happily. Okay, then hold on tight. There's still a long way to go. From now on, together, we'll walk together, okay? Night fell. In a familiar apartment, he tossed his coat directly onto a chair. She kissed him passionately. Tonight would probably be a sleepless night. She sat on him. Speaking of which, back when you were working at the bar, did you really never do that with anyone else? He said firmly, I don't sell myself. She took the initiative. Weren't you ever tempted? After all, you said you wanted to make money. What if they offered a high price? Hey, your hand is getting a little too frisky. He quickly grabbed her hand and held it down, repeating, I don't sell myself. She laughed. Goodness, don't be so nervous. I didn't mean anything by it. She lifted her hand and licked it lightly. I just wanted to do a little role-playing. I want to play. Play with me. He pulled his hand back. Why are you so shy? I'm serious. She said playfully, of course. I want to play the rich woman and male escort game. Why so serious about playing a game? Fine, but let's agree beforehand. There can't be any real money transactions or no deal. This made her laugh. Okay, if you don't want to give it, don't give it. I'll give it back to you later. But doesn't this just prove? Mr. Wan has been looking forward to this day for a long time, hasn't he? Looking forward to you playing with me. Every word she said made a blush. He immediately turned his head away. Is that even a question? She hasn't called me Mr. Wan in a long time. But if my wife wants a little excitement, I can only try my best to satisfy her. I'll just go along with her and let her do whatever she wants. Times have changed, Miss Moneybags. I'm here to serve you. Whatever you want, I'll obey. She was amused. Oh, then stick out your tongue, right here in front of me. He did as he was told, taking off his clothes like this. She put her arms around his neck. Good boy, what a good doggy. Then the two kissed sweetly. He barked. What's this? Why are you so skilled? He took off his shirt. Tomorrow's Sunday, master. Are you free? You really know how to pick a day? She replied, no, I'm busy. With that chiseled physique and that expression, what woman could resist? No, I just think it helps me relax. Her expression was just like ours, completely smitten. Oh yeah, she giggled. Haha, well then, let's see what you've got. The next morning, still in the same passionately charged room from last night, she tossed and turned, unable to get up, as if calling for help. I'm so hungry. He woke up seeing her wriggling around. Korean drama. He sat up. You're awake. She murmured in agreement. Then I'll go make breakfast. Before he could get out of bed, she grabbed his arm sleepy-eyed. He asked what's wrong. Want to order takeout. She crawled out and said just one thing, Mr. Wan. Good morning. He was stunned by the scene before him, then broke into a happy, contented smile. Good morning. And so, another typical morning began.